Hello, welcome back. This is Jacob, and today we are going to be continuing the narration and character voice acting for the main story of Arknights. This is the beginning of episode 16, aka chapter 16, titled Abnormal Spectrum. Okay then everybody, as always with the main story, we are so back. And not just back, we are back. We pretty much came full circle. We started 1.0 back in Chernobog, aka Ursus, and now we are back in Ursus with episode 16. And funnily enough, Rhodes Island's mission here is very similar to what it was originally when 1.0 started. We are back for the Sarcophagus. Literally came full circle. But different events are playing out, and we are not this time, at least in Chernobog. We are someplace else in the land of Ursus. But before we hop into the story today, as always, a bit of housekeeping, both important for newcomers and old heads of the channel. So, first and foremost, as always, please no spoilers. As you guys know, who have been with the channel for a while, but also for newcomers, I myself will only know the story as much as there will be per episode, so please don't spoil anything for myself, as in the upcoming events of this story or just in general stuff. And yeah, for myself and for people who are gonna be watching this obviously over time on YouTube as well. Leave the comment section clean, but leave comments that are important, or you want to just comment on something that has happened in today's part, or you want to leave reminders of events that happened prior to this and are filling in some of the blanks or mentions or stuff like that, you know, kind of like important trivia or anything else that adds to the experience. I would appreciate those because there's been a lot of story, so seeing reminders is always a charm. So in advance, thank you very much for those. Those will come in very handy. But yeah, spoilers, please keep it clean of spoilers. And the other thing for newcomers, if you are not caught up with the main story up until this point, I would highly recommend doing so, because obviously this is main story, this is episode 16, and the story has been always an ongoing, pretty much always forward-going narrative. So if you're not caught up with the events up until here, I would not recommend jumping into this blindly. There have been very, very significant things happening, especially in episode 15, which marks the beginning of Act 3. Technically speaking, episode 16 is the second episode in Act 3 that is still ongoing. And yeah, therefore I would really recommend catching up with the main story up until this point. As you will also see in today's episode, and this is no real spoiler, this specific episode is taking place roughly at least 3 months after the events of chapter 15. So a bit of time has passed. We are still in the same year, 1101. And also they did mention very briefly that the events of one of the latest side stories has also happened in between chapters 15 and 16, aka the Masses Travel, which is the newest Laterano storyline. And that brings me to another thing. For those of you who want to catch up with the main story, obviously the playlist will be in the description of the video, as is with pretty much every video on this channel. But also in the description of this video, you will find categorized the different storylines, the big storylines that have been taking place over years and have been expanded over years, and are slowly but surely more and more so mingling with the main story. The Masses Travel, the latest Laterano story, for example, has very extensively mingled with the main story. I mean, not only was it mentioned that the events of that story will be pretty much taking place after the end of chapter 15, by chapter 15 itself, but other stories have been also mentioned, or happenings have been already mentioned throughout the main story. So I would recommend potentially catching up with those as well, because you never know at what point the other big ongoing side stories will catch up with and mingle themselves into the main story itself. Rhodes Island at the end of the day connects a lot of territory. But yeah, in the description of the video you will find the stories for Laterano, for LEITHANIEN, for SIRACUSA, for the combination of IBERIA, AEGIR, and the Abyssal Hunters. That one will be also in there. And currently as a standalone, but very soon to be added as a as a duo at least, there will be also the story for Lone Trail. There is a new Rhinelab story incoming from what I'm aware, but I obviously don't know what it's gonna be about outside of the characters that are gonna be pullable for that banner. That I do know about, but outside of that, I do know that a new Rhinelab story is coming, but for now we only have, technically only have Lone Trail as a standalone, which is connected to a couple of other things, but for Lone Trail's purposes, you need Lone Trail for main story. That's the most important part. That's why it's gonna be in there. Also, not to bloat the description box with too many playlists. But yeah, a lot of stuff is in the description box, so for those of you who want to just catch up with stories casually and in your own time, you can find all of that in there. Finally, I want to say one little thing here. Am I the only one who is being reminded of the soundtrack in the menu here right now of Armored Core? I love the soundtrack in the background right now, but it reminds me so much of Armored Core that it just makes me go like, FromSoft, when is gonna be the next Armored Core, please? I'm waiting for my Gundams. Anyway, that side tangent aside, let's begin with our story for today. But before we do so, just like in episode 15, there is a poem, once again here in the menu for this chapter. And also, speaking of the menu for this chapter, considering that this is gonna probably take me pretty much as long as it did for episode 15 to produce the whole thing and finish the whole thing, I will probably not be able to capture all the little changes that this menu will go through, which I'm presuming there's gonna be at least a couple of them. Episode 15 was a prime example of what they were doing with narrative in this menu as well, in the main menu for the chapter. But the changes will also be present in the background of the battle map as we're gonna be going forward, so we're still gonna see them anyway. It's just not gonna be very fancily presented like it is right now, with a very cool looking and very stern looking mantra here. But anyway, like I said before we start, let's begin with a poem that is here on the left, which is simply titled Abnormal Spectrum. I know the truth, forsake all other truths. There is no more need for men to war with men. Look, evening comes, look, night is near. What use are words, poets, lovers, generals? The wind lies low, the fields are soaked with dew. The stars will freeze the sky in silence soon, and we will sleep beneath the earth at last, we who could never let each other rest. Very foreboding, but so was the poem in in the previous chapter as well. So then, flashback. I apologize for the very bright screen all of a sudden, but this is what we're gonna be dealing with for a while, probably until I make progress in the next episode with this whole thing. But yeah, anyway, for those of you who want to see the poem a bit more clearly, I would say you can see it here a bit more at the bottom of the screen if you want to pause and look at it. Anyway, the background is probably going to be changing here as we're going to be progressing, and it immediately begins with a bit of the poem here on the very left, with a specific section, the very first line of the poem, which says, I know the truth, forsake all other truths. Once again, very foreboding. But anyway, today's first part will be covering the story obviously from the beginning of 16-1 all the way to the end of 16-4. So, let's start with 16-1, titled Fool's Salvation. Fill the emptiness and confusion with words. The State Council of Ursus, Autumn, 1099. Could someone please tell me how much longer His Imperial Majesty will allow the charade to continue? A day? A month? Or perhaps a whole year? I've quite frankly had enough already. The Victorians have gained the power to control catastrophes, and even those devil savages have built battleships that fly in the sky. Yet we are supposed to waste our time discussing how to deal with this jester.
Sir, if I may, this is a kindness bestowed upon us by His Imperial Majesty.
After all, many citizens continue to believe the madman still possesses some form of noble virtue, and that is why His Imperial Majesty was willing to allow the judgment to be publicized. The limit was 7 days, and as of moments earlier, it has been 6 days and 21 hours.
Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Are we supposed to sit here and endure these obscenities, hoping the madman will come to his senses at the toll of the bell on the final day?
Sorry, sir, but I'm afraid so. The good news is, once the bell tolls, the State Council will begin voting here and now. And when the time comes, you will never have to endure this ever again.
I know that, of course. Alright, now get out. The clown's death may be a foregone conclusion, but until he is in the ground or burned to ash, he will still be Ursus's last jurodstvo. Huh. Did my eyes deceive me? That looked like an Imperial Guard uniform. Is he back already? The break didn't last 5 minutes. He didn't even have a sip of water during his speech. The final speech.
All eyes are focused on an out-of-place, ragged man walking to the center of the council hall in big strides. He is standing tall, yet his limbs seem relaxed. There is no hint of worry for the future or signs of pain that come with the struggle for survival on his face. Barely 5 minutes ago, he made a speech here about love, compassion, and how he forgives all those who decided his death. His 6-day-long speech has fatigued his audience, yet he appears completely unaffected. He raises his hand, and all around him immediately falls silent. He begins to speak, with a smile.
My dear friends, or perhaps those who regard me as an enemy, surely all of us know that this is the end. As such, I shall not be discussing the meaning of love or proclaiming my forgiveness to you for all the mistakes you have made and all that you put me through. What I shall now discuss is the future. The future of a blind, illiterate man.
Preposterous.
You must keep in mind that recounting history is a most noble power, and such power can easily blind us. For 2 decades, His Imperial Majesty has shared his glory with his subjects, yet they have never made the necessary preparations to accept his blessings. I have never once doubted the Tsar's kindness. However, a kindness that is out of time may as well be poison. No doubt the rebellious armies and the northern tundra infected have proven my point. The despicable villains raised their rebellious heads and spilled their vile blood on these holy lands. The arrogant scholars proclaim that they have mastered the truth. Yet their harmful words feed on the souls of the innocent like wicked worms. This ignorant arrogance propagated like wildfire. For this, the masses have forgotten what it means to be humble. The Empire has forgotten what it means to be kind. Now, our grand Empire and their citizens find themselves alienated from one another. I can see the past and the future, not because I am wise. I am only a fool. Rather, the trajectory of the future is already written in the trails of the past. I do not regret revealing to the masses the future that I saw, even if I must stand trial for this. I have no choice but to spread this prophecy. I saw the end of Ursus. I saw the fall of a great empire. And that is why I am standing here today. I ask His Imperial Majesty the Tsar to prevent all this. If my worthless life is the price to accomplish this, then please, by all means. If even more blood needs to be spilled to cleanse Ursus of its filth, then I beg His Imperial Majesty to spill it. For an even greater cause, and for Ursus's eternal glory. Once this trial is over, no matter the sentence, I shall begin my sacred journey. Again and again, I shall extol the virtues of humility in an attempt to restore our unity and the Empire's glory. Perhaps you think me an arrogant man overstepping my place, but I lead no armies and make no laws. Perhaps you think I am fatally ill, but I am not a madman, nor am I out of my mind. My hands are emptier than even those of the junkman. My clothes are more tattered than even those of the infected. All I've done, my mistake, is to see a different history and to hear different voices than the others. The traditions that drive us never to whitewash our pain, long buried deep underground, will again be unearthed. The cries that compel us never to attempt diminishing this cruelty, long fallen silent, will again ring loud and clear. When that time finally arrives, perhaps our great nation's future will change for the better. All angers will be quelled, and sins will be forgiven, and all pain, all of it will be assuaged by the purity of patience.
Northern Tundra Wilderness, Ursus, year unknown. Quick! Run! Keep running and don't look back, just like the others. No, we won't get away. We can't run from this, even if we make it out of Ursus. Nothing but death awaits. Stop breathing so hard. You're going to breathe the snow in and choke.
Indeed. He will choke on his own blood.
Huh? What? How did you break free so fast? No way. Impossible.
You're a clever one, but it is not enough. The illusion you cast on me was rooted in your own experiences, to a certain extent. Your mistake was not realizing that putting us through the pain in your illusion is like trying to shift mountains with a feather. At the very least, this demonstrated your power. You have what is needed to become its replacement.
I told you, I don't know a thing about you or your demonic power testing, and I'm not interested.
This is not an invitation. This is an ultimatum. Of course, you have been able to save them not once, not twice, but 3 times before I tire of this. But I tire of the charade now.
Stay back, unless you want to take away my corpse.
Your voice is no longer calm. You're beginning to doubt yourself. What is the price to use the Rhodes power when you're not one?
I don't understand what you're getting at.
All things have a price, and you are nearing your end.
Perhaps we're both going to die together at that end. Just us.
So you did not hear them. Or perhaps you simply do not have the energy left to notice more. You did not hear the sound of those footsteps on the snow. You are trying to save these people, even if it means sacrificing yourself to kill us. Yet you are unable to hear that they are only meaningless parasites. They are never willing to stray too far from their homeland. They claim to be unwilling to turn their backs on their motherland and hold on to the merest glimmer of hope. If they choose to run, they intentionally slow their steps, not even turn back to face their depths. By leaving this place, they will become unable to confirm their own existence, even if this existence would bring them nothing but despair. Unfortunately, your warning is meaningless.
What?
Just as you told them. Do not look back. I don't wish to bring Ursus a Urotstvo whose bodily functions are ruined. This would waste a lot of time. Even with your abilities, it's hardly a fair deal. Thus, again, I recommend that you give up and come with me.
I'll say it again too. I have no idea what a Urotstvo is, and have no interest in becoming one. Besides, even if I go with you, what about the infected? The ones you chased into a dead end?
They have their own destiny to walk.
No.
Perhaps you should speak your mind more clearly.
I said no. I need to... There is silence and tension all around. A complete sentence has yet to surface out of the ether, and the snow continues to fall around them, but the black entity has stopped marching forward. Before the next cluster of snow even touches the ground, a dark mist has already begun to spread. Stay! He suddenly loses his urge to continue forward. The other half of his cognition, stripped of reason, waits for the sight he saw earlier to reappear.
The same trick won't work twice.
But nothing. There is nothing. There is only the inexplicable pause, the pitch-black substance endlessly emanating from him, and the thick dust accumulated from the mist. Almost like there is black snow falling.
What? But the demon inside of me has but a slight leak, yet you are able to use my power to shackle me.
I am just using the illusion in that filth trapped in your body to make you face yourself. No more meaningless struggles, else... else, you will die in your own dominion. Now sleep. Boże mój, this boy, are you okay? Is that black monster still coming after us? He won't chase you anymore. What? Quick, get out of here. Head south before he comes to, and don't you turn back again. You have to leave this place if you want to live. What are you talking about? He won't chase us anymore. What's that supposed to mean? Are you saying you managed to convince that unreasonable lich? Enough. Go. Go? Go where? The preacher told us before, those who turn their backs on the motherland can scarcely be called human. We don't want that. We don't want to turn our backs on the Tsar, on Ursus, and you managed to get him to stop chasing us. You saved us, and you accomplished the impossible, but you still won't tell us your name. Just who are you? That's not important. Or are you perhaps the Urotstvo who vanished long ago? What? But the Urotstvo should be in the splendorous palaces of deity Griffenberg, at the Tsar's side. No. Right. If you don't belong here, then this blessing received is a stolen one. In that case, it's only fair that we are punished for it. We must endure, we must persevere, we must be silent, but we haven't been able to do any of that. Even so, you protected these sinful souls. In that case, you must be the Urotstvo, otherwise you wouldn't have the kindness and compassion to offer the infected a helping hand, as equals. In that case, there is only one name you could bear. The name that you don't want us praising. The name shared by all Urotstvos. Gabrielus.
Gabrielus. It's the Urotstvo. Our Urotstvo has returned. The Urotstvo? Like the one in the tales?
Urotstvo. Is it the Urotstvo that Mama said would love us even if he had the stolen stone disease? Even if it is not by our side?
Yes, it's her. She has returned. She defeated the villains and saved us. That's something only the Urotstvo could do. The Urotstvo has saved us. Urotstvo.
The boisterous crowd, then their hands all gush toward her. They keep pushing and pulling, like waves splashing upon a beach, all in an attempt to so much as touch the corner of their idol's shirt, even if their attire is hardly any different from the tattered clothing they are wearing. Fully surrounded, she's no longer able to prop herself up or think. The moment her knees twitch and fall to the snow, she seems as though she's going to collapse and pass out right here and now. But she can't. Not here. The royal guard is still here, and those executioners who want to use it to kill even more people are still here. She can't close her eyes. She can't give up just yet. That moment, she even seems to think that her tongue is once again working with her mouth to clearly enunciate her words. However, her body simply curls up quietly and gets smaller and smaller. She endures it until the pain subsides. Urotstvo. She's not the Urotstvo, yet there is a price to pay. And despite being the one mistaken for the Urotstvo, she doesn't know what's the price she has to pay for this absurd charade. Sometimes not knowing the price is itself a price. Mantra? What's wrong? The leader's quiet voice suddenly echoes in all the Rhode Islanders' minds. Everyone stop. This... Repeat, everyone stop immediately. The area ahead is demonically corrupted. Demonic corruption? Here? But aren't we 1/3 of an Ursus away from Sami? How could this possibly... Doctor? This may not be normal demonic corruption. Dominion. Central Far North Mining District, Ursus, Autumn 1101. Radiant Squad's last known coordinates should be around here.
According to the timestamp of the signal sent back to the city, they last sent out a message 10 days ago. The laboratory she mentioned is roughly 3 kilometers up ahead.
Monster, are you able to analyze anything here?
I'm looking. Based on the scale and shape of the corruption, this is very likely to be caused by Dominion. Right, a fight against the Royal Guard probably took place here. It's strange though. For such an intense battle, there aren't any traces of arts nearby.
I understand you're worried, Doctor. But knowing Raidian, she would definitely have tried to leave tracks we could decipher.
At the very least, this explains something happened here that called for the Royal Guard's involvement, and clearly that the Grand Duchess is hiding something from us. Radiant Squad might be in an extremely dangerous predicament, or involved in whatever happened here.
Correct. Whether they were going after Raidian or the laboratory, it seems we need to pick up the pace.
So then, we are gonna be very biblical in this chapter of the main story, if that was not indication enough from the very beginning of this cutscene. So, not only did we at the beginning jump back 2 years to see the council essentially in Ursus convene, but we also saw a speech of a person by the name, or designation rather, Urotstvo. So that is a very interesting thing. I had to look that up because I'm not familiar with the, obviously the Russian Russian name for it. Yeah, that is a term that in Christianity is called foolishness for Christ. And I'm gonna put it on screen so you guys can read it yourselves, but foolishness for Christ refers to behavior such as giving up all of one's worldly possessions upon joining an ascetic order of religious life, or deliberately flaunting society's conventions to serve a religious purpose, particularly of Christianity. Such individuals have historically been known as both holy fools and blessed fools. The term fool connotes what is perceived as feeble-mindedness, and blessed or holy refers to innocence in the eyes of God. And if you want to look up more, I can just encourage it. The article is pretty large on the wiki page. There is a lot, of course, because this one refers definitely to Christianity. But yeah, then we see another scene right afterwards, and if it was not obvious enough already during that scene, that woman in the undisclosed year where that was taking place in was Mantra in her youth. And it seems that in her youth, at least until someone says anything else during this chapter, it seems that at least in her youth she was mistaken by people she was helping to run away from their pursuers to be a Urotstvo, which I don't think she is. I don't think she necessarily is. I think we're gonna learn more about what actually Urotstvo means for the Ursus as we're gonna be progressing with the chapter. Not in today's part, but potentially later, who knows. But that was definitely Mantra in her youth, which, yeah, definitely indicates that she has a very deeply rooted connection to Ursus itself. And what a connection it is. That is some biblical proportions. Also, the name that they used for... the term is obviously Urotstvo, but the name that every Urotstvo has for them is also very interesting, because Gabrielus, which seems to be just I don't know if it's another form of Gabriel, aka the Archangel, but very interesting naming. Very interesting name that they keep carrying amongst themselves between each Urotstvo as one succeeds the other, I guess. But yeah, definitely interesting. Also, that speech was very interesting, as that last Urotstvo before I presume that guy was immediately executed after those 7 days have elapsed. Which, again, 7 days is, again, a very biblical number. But very interesting how this chapter is immediately being formed. But we shall see more of that. And, yep, we have fart clouds. Fart clouds are about. Of course they are. We're in Ursus. Of course there's gonna be Emperor's blades. Why not? They have to be here. It's kind of written in their contract. But anyway, let's continue on with our next stage, which is 16-2, titled Distant Dawn. And it says, there is no light to bear witness here. We need to find a safe route to the research institute. Elysium? Central Far North Mining District, Ursus. Looks like my equipment's not working right. You can't detect the precise range of the contamination. I think this is the miner's accommodation. The real danger here might be whoever's still around, really. This is demonic contamination we're talking about. Captain says there is no trace of any mental activity in the entire mine, human or animal. At the very least, the contamination hasn't blocked the way to the institute. It's mostly headed south, actually. We can swing a detour around the north. It'll take us roughly 3 hours longer than the original plan, but the time loss will be manageable. Wow! I've been thinking this for a while now, but you two work really well together. Elysium and Mantra have been working together for many years now. You could say I'm Rhodes Island's most experienced operator when it comes to working with the captain. It takes a lot out of her to speak, so if it's not an emergency, I get to be the one passing on the message. So, what do you think, Doctor? If we set off now, we should make it before sunset. Not that the sun sets in the Ursin far north this time of year. We set off right now. Get our friend up to speed on our detour. Don't fall behind now, Aloysius. Sorry, was just inspecting the mine equipment. Nothing to do with our travels together. What's going on? Why did you stop for so long? According to the map, we're very close to the Institute. Don't tell me you found some... thing? It's... traces of Dominion. The Royal Guard was here. You don't seem shocked. I hope you're not insinuating I'm hiding something, Gospodja Amia, or I'd be very hurt. I hope you share any pertinent information with us, at least while we are collaborating. What do you know about the whereabouts of the Royal Guard? First of all, only the Tsar himself has the authority to know the comings and goings of the Royal Guard, let alone a lowly sergeant such as myself. But honestly speaking, after the illustrious Grand Duchess of the Far North declared martial law and shut down the mines, the Royal Guard showing up would not be much of a shock. Then, if they're already conducting an investigation of their own here, where does that leave you? You're a clever one, aren't you? The news of a number of infected miners in Central Far North has made waves, and many are curious. Naturally, while most Ursin have a right to curiosity, they do not have the same right to information. Please understand that, as a sergeant, I'm limited in what I'm allowed to say. I hope my explanation will not cause too much confusion, Gospodja Amia. No, it's fine. I understand the position you are in. I've never minced words about how this job could improve the resume of an Imperial Guardswoman like me. Though I did imagine it being much easier. Anyhow, that dream is dead. The Royal Guard being involved is a bad omen, no matter how you look at it. If that's the case, are you still set on traveling with us? Of course. I chose to take on this task, and quitting halfway would hardly be
A decent thing to do. Before we continue onwards, shall we reaffirm our trust in one another? I look forward to our continued cooperation, just like the time we met.
Bresk, far north, Ursus, 3 days ago. Elysium, give us some direction.
Mierda. The signal's all laggy. It's like there's something interfering with our encrypted frequency. Whatever, not important. 10 guardsmen to the west. Turn right at the next crossing.
What are you talking about? The west is on our right.
Did I say right? Do you see the city hall? Go in the opposite direction.
I see it, but the crossing ahead is where the plates are disconnected.
What? There's nothing like that on this stupid map. Well, you're practically surrounded by guards, so that's your only way out.
Got it. Can you keep up, Amia? I can. Hold on tight, Doctor.
Doing my best here.
Your best isn't good enough. Fine, I'll hold on to you instead. You alright, Doctor?
I'm good. I've gotten pretty used to it by now.
Glad you're doing well. Guess I can relax then. We've arrived at the designated location, Elysium. Elysium?
Don't stop moving. There's guards.
The line cut out. The terminal says Elysium is still moving, but we don't have any way to re-establish communication. It's like short-range comms have been unstable ever since we entered Bresk. There's also no way of telling if it's because of the far north's extreme weather or human interference.
I'm curious though. Why would Bresk send so many guards to detain intercity merchants?
It is rather strange. There haven't been any issues with the ID cards closure forged for us.
Maybe we're not the ones they're watching out for, or they're watching us for different reasons. But putting that aside, Bresk is supposed to be a quiet city. It's strange that it's so fortified.
This isn't anything like the intelligence we had. If this goes on, we won't make it into the mining district. Doctor, should we rendezvous with Mantra's team and discuss?
Doctor, finally got you. Keep moving. There are guards heading your way.
I think I figured that out. Thanks.
They're fast. Get behind me, Amia. No, don't engage.
Alright, interloping scum. Hands up.
Let's take a deep breath here. What laws have we violated to cause such a fuss?
You trespassed in the industrial zone and attempted to infiltrate a private factory, violating Bresk's migratory regulations and Ursin urban public security measures.
Could I ask you to reconfirm, sir? When we entered the city, I'd never heard anything about a prohibition on foreigners entering the industrial zone.
It's a new regulation, went into effect just after you reached Bresk. You will be detained under the law, and then public security will decide if you are to be deported or exiled, considering your circumstances.
If we inadvertently violate Bresk's new regulation, then I deeply apologize. We're just here to look for an intercity merchant. It was stated clearly in the itinerary declaration we submitted upon entry to the city.
Save it for public security.
We didn't mean to offend. There may be a way for both of us to save time here. I believe Bresk, Pearl of the Far North, treats its guests well. I'm sure the Grand Duchess is as kind as the rumors say.
Enough of that. I don't give a damn. I'm just doing my job.
Sir!
This way.
No, sir! We can't delay any longer. I'm sorry.
You see Amia shift her body, surreptitiously protecting you. Monster observes your surroundings, looking for a way out.
You don't know how things work around here. Get them. What are you standing around for? Get in there already. What? Can't even handle a little feline, girl?
Sir, look behind them. That looks like the,
Speed it already!
the Imperial Guard.
Yerunda! Those pretentious bastards should be in Griffenberg. What would they be doing in Bresk?
But those clothes...
I am terribly sorry, sir, but I'm afraid she is right this time.
You!
Aloysius Gorchakova, Sergeant of the Imperial Guard, Vanguard Battalion, here from Deity Griffenberg.
What are you playing at?
I have a simple request for you. Overlook this little breach of protocol and release our pitiful guests.
You're with them?
Unfortunately, they're indeed my friends. Since you are now aware of my history with them, surely you'll do me this favor, yes?
We're a long way from Griffenberg. Why should I care about that?
Because I stopped by public security and filled out all the paperwork. The young Ursus waves some papers in her hand. In the dusky gloom of polar night, none can clearly see what is written on them.
But
If I were you, sir, I wouldn't play around with my future like that. There are many lost travelers, but rarely a chance to curry favor with the Imperial Guard. Ah, yes, may I ask you your name or your service number?
alright, Sergeant Gorchakova. I'll report all this to public security. You may go. May your authority be as eternally glorious as the Tsar himself.
Thank you for the kind words, sir. But none has eternal a glory as His Imperial Majesty. The rest of us will have to leave the stage when the time comes. Well, I'll be off with our guests for now. Thank you for helping us get out of that sticky situation, ma'am. But, why exactly did you... Shh, they're still close by. Also, my cute little Kotos, you may call me Aloysius. Ma'am is too formal, while guardswoman or girl is too crude. I believe names are what's best for our current relationship. Thank you for the help, Aloysius. You really know how to handle those guards. They most likely thought you were ordinary traders, easy to shake down for a quick cherwonets or two. Same way they treat Colombian sightseers. But you're hardly tourists or traders now, are you? Let's cut to the chase. Why are you helping us? Good, good. I appreciate candor. I will answer your questions, but not here. Once you have gathered your friends, we can go somewhere far from prying eyes and ears. We don't have much time. Relax. I won't be wasting your time. This is all in service of your goal. Well, here we are. Where is here? An abandoned apartment. As far as I know, the guards don't care for these nigh-empty old districts. An empty plate may sound wasteful, but it is true. No matter how the Deity Griffenberg Times tries to cover it up, it is a widely known fact that the population of the far northern cities has been dwindling these last few years. As time goes by, this place becomes deserted, and the plate will be discarded, left to rust in the wilderness like all the other abandoned plates. Aloysius, we need to know exactly why you came looking for us. Now, ideally. Monster puts on a vigilant stare. Could I ask everyone to lighten up a little, please? There are a lot of you and only one of me. What kind of threat could I possibly pose to people of your caliber? Could I ask the Phidia lady standing outside the door to tell your friends that I am not lying? Captain says there's nobody else here. The district is safe. Choosing this place to talk means you also need to be covert. I'd hoped the Imperial Guard would at least treat us to dinner. You're a funny one, my hooded friend. It takes a clever mind to grasp humor. Once we have discussed our important business, I would be happy to entertain you with a meal if you are all still interested.
Firstly, since I've already introduced myself, may I have the pleasure of knowing your names? We've come from Victoria and... Still insisting that you went into the industrial zone to meet with an intercity merchant, a widow who goes by the name of Olga? A very reliable cover story. One that will fool a vast majority of the city's port officials. But no matter how you put it, it is rare for a commercial party in a nomadic city to be using military-grade encrypted communications. Was it you intercepting our communications? No. I would never do something so crude. It may have been the Aurora or the recently upgraded defense equipment. You truly are unlucky coming to Bresk during the most interesting times it has ever seen. I've been honest on my part. If you still have things you wish to keep hidden, then I am afraid we have to break things off here.
We're a pharmaceutical company. Rhodes Island.
See? Honesty isn't so painful, is it? Rhodes Island. I have heard this name mentioned many times while investigating infected rumors from all across the land. Based on what I have pieced together from these tales, you lot are the stuff of legends. But no matter how true they are, the most recent instance I have encountered your name was in that paper you published about aberrant changes in the infected.
You don't strike me as a colic in the field. I never thought you'd be interested in neuropathy studies.
Pardon me for letting you down, but not every newly minted Griffenberg noble is an uneducated lout. There is not a nation on this land that can overlook the infected question, though their policies in answering it may differ. Anyone with a modicum of common sense would know just how important this scientific achievement of yours is. But there is one thing I am curious about. Despite this groundbreaking discovery, Rhodes Island has kept a low profile, instead of using it to do more business.
Is that why you came to find us? This doesn't explain how you know about our whereabouts.
Oh, that can easily be explained. I think anyone who goes into the far north central mining district right now is doing it for the same reason. You mean you also want in? What, do you not? We need to get in. Sure enough. You don't have a way into the mining district, and as it turns out, I have need of some oripathy specialists. The perfect recipe for cooperation.
So you want us to go into the district with you?
Of course. The authorities here will not look kindly on some Griffenberger sticking her nose into far northern affairs after all. As things are, your cover as merchants will do you no good, nor will it help me, so let's forget all the masks and red tape and shake hands right here. That is one solution to all our problems. But what is it you want to do in the district? And what do you need from us? Was it not clear? I'm hoping Rhodes Island will accompany me into the mining district to collaborate on an investigation into the infected affair. The infected affair? What exactly are you referring to? Oh, my dear, sweet, naive little Kotos. My patience has its limits, you know. There is no time to be playing dumb. No, that's a serious question. We lost contact with all of our mobile medical teams in the far north and central mining district, and we need to find them. We really have no idea what this infected affair is, and I hope you will elaborate. You want into the district just for... Wait, so you really don't know? That's impossible. To my knowledge, you've built many more medical posts all across Ursus in the past few years.
Simple doubt replaces the suspicion on the young woman's face before finally shifting to a sudden realization. She understands how her assumptions have led her astray.
No. You just said mobile medical team. No fixed offices means no steady access to a network of contacts with the latest intelligence. I don't know what issues Rhodes Island is currently facing, but it seems the information you have is limited. And because this is Ursus, you have been unable to do much. Because of your lack of information, you have been blindly running into walls this whole time, haven't you? Черт побери, I was too impatient. We really don't know what this infected affair is. Does it have to do with Bresk's current state of affairs? Forget it. Forget I said anything. That favor before was free of charge, no need to thank me.
Wait! The very fact that you came looking for us means there is the possibility we can work together on this. Could you not tell us what exactly happened in the mining district?
I really should have thought things through more before making a choice. And here I was thinking you were racking your brains on how to enter the district upon hearing the news. You should know that this information is worth quite a lot on the black market.
We're not that kind of organization, but it doesn't matter right now. We have a natural reason to be invested in anything to do with the infected. That's why you came looking for us, wasn't it? Please tell us.
Fine, fine. Since I'm already here, I may as well do something, even if it's just for some infected.
The infected are Ursian citizens too.
You are correct, precious little Cotus. The infected are indeed Ursins, and that is before we mention those miners that it's our personally promised life, not survival. The miners are the backbone of Ursus, keeping its war machines running, a fact that those corrupt old nobles and their puppets haven't realized yet. But even they must know that Ursus must change. My word, what am I even babbling about? Good thing those sharp-tongued, poison-spitting colleagues of mine aren't here, or they would laugh me to my grave.
You should not feel ashamed for this.
Spoken words are like spilled sissy milk. They freeze solid in this weather.
So what is this infected affair? It sounds like it has to do with the infected miners.
Listen, if you dare leak any of this...
You have my word that no matter what you have to say, we will not disclose it. There is no benefit to making an enemy out of Ursus. We know that well.
Give me a moment. I need to figure out where to start. You know, of course, that Bresk borders the far northern central mining district and is also the largest nomadic city in the north of Ursus. This means the city administrates a total of 30,000 square kilometers worth of mines scattered across the far north, alongside 200,000 infected. We are familiar with the basic facts of this place. What issues arise in this sort of system? Please don't look at me like that. Sorry, I knew this sort of talk would anger you. But the Tsar does not wish for these infected miners to be treated as cheap labor. On the contrary, his decree has shown a lot of care for the people of Bresk. Things have been going rather smoothly in the city these past few years, until 3 months ago. Yes, this is where your company's area of expertise comes in, along with that paper. 3 months ago, large numbers of abnormal infected were discovered in the central mining district. Their symptoms were very similar to the ones described in your paper.
3 months ago? Wasn't that?
You mean... that's the reason why Bresk is under martial law? How many abnormal infected are there in this district?
That's quite a question. Right now, nobody knows just how many normal infected are left in the central mining district.
Alright then. We are forming... we're forming alliances now with Imperial Guardswomen. Very interesting. But yeah, we are in the far north, in a city that when I see the background I am being sent and ascending. That background just reminds me that is pretty much the architecture that exists around here in Croatia as well. I feel at home. I almost feel at home when I look at the background of Bresk and those very brutalist, minimalistic looking buildings. Just those blocks. Oh, good lord. That is definitely a building style that has existed here in Croatia for a long while. For a long while. We're kind of moving nowadays away from it, but holy shit, there's so many still old buildings that are pretty much built in that style. But anyway, starting the cutscene off with a Live 2D CG, very nice. And very Live 2D, not just like puffs of smoke of the Dominion going off the ground and animating that portion of the picture. We had that before. No, the codes and everything being animated. Nice. Please do that more. Please do that more, game. But yeah, anyway, we are in the far north, in a city called Bresk, and we immediately run into trouble. Of course we do. It's Rhode Island. Of course we are gonna run into trouble. But anyway, before we continue, we do have new enemies here, or rather we have old enemies here, as we can see immediately. All of these have been introduced before, but considering that it's been a while since we did anything in Ursus, let's go through them again, because, yeah, it's been a while. So, we have the Infected Patrol Captain, an officer tasked with hunting the infected of Ursus, greedy and cold-blooded. Then we have the Elite Infected Patrol Captain, a highly ranking officer tasked with hunting the infected of Ursus, greedy and cold-blooded. They are not a part of the army, and are generally despised by Ursus soldiers and city officials alike. Then we have the Ursus Mangler, a war beast trained by the Ursus army. Obedient and relentless, they tear through armor with ease to sate their thirst for flesh and blood. And now for the new guy, the Miner Guerrilla, resistance unit formed by miners, many of whom are still relatively young. They are not a rampaging mob, and all they want to do is protect their families who are still underground. Alright, with that we move on to our training stage, which is called Shadowy Path. Seek a path that can be seen even in darkness. Not much to show here or do anything here. A nice little thing I do want to point out, however, the maps are still counted under a 0th order oil tank. Zoot is still around. But yeah, map teaches us basically about the new mechanic, which is these towers creating a mist essentially, and hey, you can send out miners to do that dirty business for you, which is very brutal, but a very interesting mechanic. Look, guys, it's been so long since we've played this game, but now we can send civilians to do stuff. I don't know. I shouldn't be laughing about this. I shouldn't. But look, for long-term players, this has to feel a tiny bit cathartic, right? Being able to send civilians to do stuff instead of being continuously there to try and protect them, right? It has to be sorta, at least a tiny bit cathartic to be able to send civilians out to do shit. But anyway, let's continue. We move on to stage 16-3, titled Path in Sight. Life is a bog that you keep sinking deeper and deeper into, until it swallows you. Flashback. Meeting room, New Rhodes Island.
Any clues on the sarcophagus?
The very last activity we know of involving the sarcophagus came after the Chernobog Lungmen incident, when the Ursin government retrieved the entire system. As for what they actually plan to do with it, they've been keeping it under tighter wraps than ever. There's nothing more about it in Kaltz's records.
It's not like we can directly ask the Ursin government to borrow it. Do we have any other way of finding its location?
Looking at the official register made after the Chernobog Research Institute was destroyed, there were no survivors other than Sergei. We did manage to find some clues when looking into what happened to him afterwards. He had established a new institute to continue researching the sarcophagus. In the short period of time that the institute was operating, one name really stood out to us: Artyom Chadaev. He was vice director at Sergei's institute, but he's a complete ghost with no verifiable academic or political background to speak of. We may be able to make a rational deduction.
That this man had a special connection to Sergei? Or to the institute?
No matter what his connection may be, he might be the key to our breakthrough.
So we need to find this Artyom?
No, things get a little more complicated from here on out. He's proven to be very hard to track ever since Sergei's institute shut down. According to Kaltzit's intelligence, he died of heart failure in the Griffenberg Imperial Sanatorium last winter. He maintained a good relationship with Ursus to his last. Maybe we can look into the people who knew him.
Great idea. That's what I was thinking too.
There's another researcher who had a connection to Artyom. Ksenia Markovna Nelidova. We have a lot more detail on her background. Before the Sarcophagus incident, she had briefly served as Ilya's assistant at the Chernobog Research Institute and had crossed paths with Kaltzit. Recent intelligence indicates she is currently in the Ursin far north, working at the Central Mining District Laboratory, administered by the city of Bresk. That's where Artyom's final letters were sent.
It doesn't sound like a particularly reliable clue, but it's the only clue we've got. We should go to the Research Institute and find her.
I have to remind you, Doctor. While we are all determined to bring Kaltzit back, we must thoroughly evaluate the risks of every mission. Rhodes Island cannot bear any more losses.
But,
I'll go. Raidian? Ursus has always been a dangerous place, and we have very limited intelligence for this mission. And there are many important decisions the Doctor and Amia must make while Rhodes Island is being rebuilt. Raidian, I know you're a capable young woman now, Amia, but that is exactly why you need to stay here and handle our most important tasks. The latest news from Laterano is also worrying, and the Doctor will need to see to it personally. Allowing Rhodes Island to steady its footing in our new home is our top priority. You're right. If it were just an infiltration mission, then Misery's team would be the best choice, but information gathering is my team's specialty. Besides, there's no one better to send back to Ursus than me, is there? You make some real compelling arguments, Radian. But it's your decision, Doctor.
This will be a very dangerous mission. Stay safe, Raidian. Rhodes Island cannot lose anyone else.
We will. We'll act with caution as a mobile medical team. The rest of you, take care of yourselves while we're out, okay? Of course. I hope that all of you come home safe.
I shall meditate and share in his pain. One man's pain is everyone's pain. One man's sin is everyone's sin. May sinners repent with all their heart. May their sins be forgiven, and their souls find salvation.
Central Far North Mining District, Ursus, 5 days ago. Oh my.
It's okay, Babushka. Don't be scared. It's Uchitel Rankin. It's chased away the patrol unit chasing us. We're safe for now.
Yes, for now. Where else can we go? Where must we go to find shelter?
Babushka, are you hungry? I'll go and ask Holly for another piece of bread.
I'm fine. You're such a sweet child, but I really am. Go see Rankin. He has done so much. His spirit must be nearly worn away. Go see him. Do not let him be burdened any more than he already is.
Would you tell he,
Under the twilight sky, the young man's stern countenance eases. The cold soon cools, the warm blood staining his pickaxe. The enemy before him is completely routed. Don't kill me! You're not allowed to do anything to me! I surrendered!
but we haven't accepted that surrender. Tell me, how many of these squads are pursuing us?
Shit! I don't know. I don't know. Every patrol unit's independent. We don't talk to each other.
Tell me something I don't know, or I'll have no reason to let you live.
Wait, don't. Listen to me. The chips you have in you. The diagnostic chips.
Chips? You mean the ones used to check how infected we are?
Rankin the Noble. Rankin the Hero. Are you really so naive? Those chips send you coordinates to the mines research facility and nearby guard posts. The moment you try to leave the mining district, or the chip leaves your body, boom! Losing a single leg would be lucky. Losing both is definitely possible. You won't be running away like that. Just give up already, Rankin. You think you can leave this mine by killing a patrol unit? There's nowhere to go. Ursus will chase you forever. Surrender. It's the only way you won't die a miserable death.
Don't listen to him, Rankin. If the chips really did blow up, we'd have a bunch of three-legged burden beasts walking around. The patrol units are worse than bastards. An honest one of them is like an aphid in winter. I got to know them before I became infected. You've done enough today, Rankin. Leave this one to me.
No! Stop killing people! We don't need to. Nobody's badly hurt. Uchitel!
Let him go. Get back, Petochki! What's the point in showing a man like him mercy? It was these bastards who killed Paulina, all because she was caring for an unregistered child. She was pregnant when they hanged her. Have you forgotten all the terrible things they've done? Thank you, Petochki. I remember you. You were the meekest of all the children. You will have a happy ending, even if the rest of these come.
Uchitel!
At least I didn't let him bleed out slowly in the snow. Stand up, Petochki. Go to the back and find the doctor for me. Paul, go get Nikto and tell him to gather everyone who wants to leave the mining district at the south dormitory. Get them ready. We need these chips, all of us. You believe what that guy said? Doesn't matter. We need the chips out of our bodies. Even if they don't explode, they definitely transmit our location. The patrol units have already found us once, and we don't know when the next squad will show up. If this keeps on, we'll be on the back foot the entire time. Alright, I'll get it done.
Uchitel, you promised me.
Oh, you're still here. I didn't promise you anything, Petochki. Besides, if the rest of the bastards in his units are dead, why should he be any exception? Because of his arrogance? Because of his ridicule?
No.
Never mind. You wouldn't understand. Forget what I just said. Right. Take this.
What is it?
A stopwatch. I found it in the Institute. Should still work. When we get a minute, I'll teach you how to use it. From now on, you won't need to live your life counting meaningless numbers, worrying about a miscount leaving people dead in the mines. At least now... Go, Petochki. Go help me find her.
Uchitel, your hand is shaking.
Hush. Go do what you have to do.
At least let me pray that your soul can be saved.
Even though you've seen how those men treated us, and seen how I killed them?
Yes.
Don't be so quick to bless others, or to forgive them, Vetochki. Me included. Now go already. We don't have time.
Господин Rankin.
Oh, Госпожа Serafina. Though we have not known each other for long, I want to believe that since your medical team was willing to come to such a remote place to treat the infected, you are people I can trust. I'm sorry that I now have no choice but to ask for your help.
Please, go ahead. As long as it's something I can help with.
I just learned that inside every miner, there is a tracking chip that could explode at any moment. We need a way to extract them so we can escape the patrol units. I am prepared to serve as a test subject myself. If it is successful, please perform the surgery on the others. If it does unfortunately explode, then I hope you will be able to give me first aid. If I die, then I ask you to tell everyone waiting for me about this. Now I must ask you to leave.
No, let me do an examination first. May I?
Go ahead.
I regret to inform you, these chips really could explode. They contain miniaturized high-powered originium bombs. If the chip does not receive electrical signals from the local district relay or the human body, it will trigger an explosion. If you hope to get everyone out of this district, then you must remove the chips.
Amazing! Is this your arts at work?
Of course. I may be able to temporarily copy the signal to fool the receiver, but I must warn you, this still carries a great deal of risk.
We can't afford to wait for a perfect solution. Your idea is good enough.
One moment then.
Raidian starts using her arts, causing beams of energy to resonate at the same frequency as the chip's receiver. Rankin nods and sits down, grasping the hilt of his dagger. It is cold, smooth, and solid as he rubs it against the calluses of his palm.
You'd best back away from me a bit, Doctor.
That won't be happening. This is the first time I've tried it, so I need to observe it in real time. I can guide your hand using nerve impulses. Take care not to detonate the chip.
Incredible. It's a shame we didn't meet sooner. I hope we will still have the chance to chat after this.
Rankin wipes his dagger with some alcohol, pointing its blade at the scar on his leg before plunging it into his flesh.
It, worked, right?
The youthful miner nearly leaps up, forgetting to cut the cut on his leg oozing blood.
Calm down. Your wound needs dressing.
Oh, of course. Thank you, Doctor. I owe you my life. You are truly amazing. I've never seen a physician as skilled as you. You even remind me of an Ursin soldier.
What do you mean by that?
Sorry, please do not misunderstand me. This is the highest praise I can think of. I mean true Ursin soldiers, not those patrol unit brutes. The ones who drove all of the invading knights Mora and freed us from the tyrannical hippogriffs. They were true heroes. Oh, yes. Have you read Igor Veliky's biography?
We should prepare for surgery on the others. How many will we need to operate on?
I'm afraid it's a number that will leave you and your colleagues running ragged.
My decoy electrical signal can cover the entirety of this area, and my colleagues can coordinate the surgeries. That being the case, I reckon we will need to stay here for some time.
Time is something we are short on. Have the medical team prioritize the elderly and children, then teach the others to perform the surgery. Hand out scalpels. My people are not squeamish.
I would appreciate it if you did not make medical decisions for me.
No, doctor, I did not mean to order you around. Since the duty of leading everyone out of this mining district is mine, I need to make decisions accordingly. Patrol units, who can show up at any time, extreme weather, lack of supplies, all things that will prove fatal. I hope we can reach an agreement on this.
No matter what happens, we need to be wary of infection. My team will oversee the sterilization procedures.
Then let's begin. Act first, then discuss the future. Is this your limit? When you were eating smoked sausages back in Griffinburg, did you never wonder how they were made? Never went to see the slaughterhouses in the satellite cities?
Idiot, ahoy! Right now, Rankin. Sukabliat. I swallowed a bunch of snow, but I still can't get the smell of blood out of my nose. Next time I have the chance, I'm dumping fresh Burdenby's blood into your soup.
Fresh Burdenby's blood is expensive. A bucket can cost more than 100 cherwonzi. We can't afford that.
It was a metaphor, damn it. I didn't know you used to be a gourmet chef, Holly.
My son transported that sort of thing when he was a truck driver. The Griffinburg nobles believe the blood of young burden beasts would make them beautiful. He told me a lot of things about the city in his letters, but the last one I received was 7 years ago. I hope he's still alright. Then I'll have to ask you to make sure Nikto doesn't mess with my dinner. I'll make sure. Nobody's messing with anyone's dinner.
I hope this won't end up being our last meal, or I'll be cursing you to the grave, Rankin.
Whatever you say. I'm in good spirits today. It's been so long since I've felt this sort of freedom. We have finally broken our shackles. We are free now. What we want to do, where we want to go, and how we want to live our lives. We can decide for ourselves now.
You should save the poetry recital for when we're actually safe. So, what now?
The plan hasn't changed. We head south to the border with Casimir's. Find the village founded by the infected, the one that belongs only to the infected. There will be space for all of us there.
You're just blindly believing in this reunion without even knowing if they're the real deal.
No, I have my reasons to believe. A few years back when I was stationed at the border, I heard a lot about them. Information I could trust. They provided shelter for the infected, give out medicine for free, and have fended off many patrol units who wanted to push around people like us. I believe we will find people who share our ideals there.
That just makes me think it's some infected delusion, or the army spinning up an excuse for a bigger share of taxes.
It makes me wonder why it took until now for a banner like this to be flown. If we find out they do not exist, then it should be us who raise the flag.
And here I thought your time on the border would have taught you better. Just imagine for a moment, if you had saved that count back then instead of that infected, you could be a lieutenant right now, maybe even a captain. Patrol units like the one we ran into today would be licking your boots with a wave of your finger.
Then I should be even more grateful for the choice I made that day. Otherwise I would not have had a chance to see this nation's true face, or learn what my life's great calling is. Our people have been duped and deceived for far too long. They believe their current lives are what they deserve, forgetting what they should have really. This is not only a conflict between the infected and ordinary folk.
one day all the infected in Ursus died, they would use some other standard to decide who to cast into the mines. Why do some have everything handed to them, while others must struggle for survival? Why do the fruits of their bitter toil go to?
But who actually gets to say what people deserve? Maybe the way this land is the way things should be. Even if there were another Terra, even if civilization started over from scratch, things might not turn out any different from now.
No, I don't believe that. When you opened your eyes and actually looked at everything around us, did you not feel anger? When we feel such an instinctual rage, that means everything is wrong. You should know that, based on what you've been through, Nikto.
Don't bring up that crap. It's ancient history. Fine. Even if it is as you say, how far are we from the border? What other things will we run into on the way there?
I have a plan. Why do you think I asked you to gather up those chips? They didn't blow up when we took them out of us like the other chips, which means they still work as positioning devices. These things have brought us so much suffering. Why not use them to our advantage against the patrol units?
That's not what we agreed on when we decided to escape. You know our condition, Rankin. How many of us can even move right now? Maybe half? We might be able to beat 1 or 2 patrol units, but we can't hold off all of Ursus. The only thing causing more bloodshed would do is trap us here even further.
If we want to live, taking this step is only a matter of time. Every patrol unit lackey will kill is another spare ventilator in our hands. Any supplies we seize can be used to leave the ice fields, and allow children like Vetochki to live to see another day. Have you forgotten what gave us the opportunity to leave this place? Even if the thing can't be called human, we were the ones who killed it.
I don't know what you're talking about. You're becoming completely unreasonable before we even left the mining district.
I don't want to fight over this, Nikto.
Uchitel? And Nikto, you're here too.
What is it?
Nothing. I just came to see if you had eaten yet.
You don't need to ask this guy. His stomach's already full of his grand ideals.
You're not really wrong. You should focus on our physician friends. It was they who did all the hard work today.
I just went to see them. They're about to rest.
Good. You've worked hard too. How's the wound? Does it hurt?
I'm okay. Everyone's okay.
Really now? Everyone's been very brave. Go rest. Eat your fill. Then sleep tight.
We don't have much food. My portion's not very big. Take care of yourself, too, Uchita.
Vetochki really trusts you, Rankin. Always calling you Uchitel, like you're her teacher. Everyone trusts you. They're waiting for you to get them out of here.
I know. Which is why every word I tell her is what I know to be true in my heart. It is the same as when I lead everyone. I take the path I believe to be right.
Let's hope you are.
Relax a little, Nikto. Today is the day of our first victory. It's a good omen. No need to look so anxious. When someone awakens to the truth and decides to set off on a journey, it is the grandest of beginnings.
Quoting from Igor's biography again?
No, those are my own words. Trust me, Nikto. We are doing great things right now.
All these surgeries are complete, Captain. Some of the patients are developing fevers, and we're limited in what we can do. Got it. I'll go have a word with their leader after this, and do my best to ensure the wounded are provided with food and water. You've worked hard today. Get some rest. Taking care of yourselves is important too.
Captain, we still need to...
The far north is under martial law, and the weather is affecting our ability to communicate too. It's difficult for us to connect to the outside. What happened here will surely draw the attention of the Ursian authorities. We need to leave ASAP. We can't stay here.
But do we really need to work with them? I am worried that if we do, we'll be drawn into a conflict with Ursus.
Rhodes Island has no reason to make an enemy of the Empire. But right here, right now, these are just people struggling to survive. Changing the lives of the infected has always been our mission. Besides, they've also helped us out a lot. Don't worry for now. Just do your best to prepare for the unexpected. I'll keep trying to get in contact with our base in the city. If they can receive the information we sent earlier, I hope they will notice the clues we left behind when they come to help us.
Bresk, far north, Ursus, 3 days ago.
Bresk Times, get your copy here! Do you want one, Devushka?
Oh, sure. How much?
20 para. Is that okay?
That's fine. But I don't have any spare change on me. Here, take this.
Thank you, Devushka. You're amazing!
Amia carefully places an entire cherwonets in the boy's palm. He quickly disappears around the street corner, as if frightened his benefactor might regret her decision and take it back. Amia? What are you looking at?
That boy's clothes looked very thin. Bresk is colder than the Ursus I remember.
It was winter the last time we were in Ursus. Bresk is further north than Chernobog.
I still remember. It was the first time I saw such intense fighting. I was so nervous I forgot to be scared. At the time I thought I would never see anything so dangerous again.
We've been through a lot since then. At least now there's no catastrophes or people chasing us. And I know who I actually am.
Yes. On that topic, Doctor, it's very rare for us to have the chance to quietly watch a city like this, isn't it? Chernobog, Lungmen, Londinium. Wherever we go, our memories seem to be filled with chaos and the fires of war.
It's how this land should be. We should remember what this city is like now. Let's check today's paper. Does it say why the mines have been blocked off?
We might only be able to learn more once Aloysius has finished negotiating with the Grand Duchess. She said she would help us apply for a permit to enter the mining district, but how we should actually go about doing that?
She made sure we know how limited our info is. She wants us on the back foot.
The Grand Duchess's office is right ahead. From the intelligence we gathered beforehand, her name is Yelizaveta Konstantinova Lashkovskaya. She's not the typical Ursian noble. Her policies are known for being kind to infected and non-infected alike. Every channel of information we've checked describes her as a good person.
A woman like that deserves more than just kindness. The Grand Duchess must also be a bright woman. Her office is rather humble looking. Almost like a regular home.
The buildings in Bresk are relatively short and regular. It must be the style here in the far north. But looking at the map, all the surrounding buildings seem to almost envelop it. A rather unique location in terms of urban planning.
So, here we are again. They're not even letting us wait inside this time. A no-nonsense young lady. A local leader with quite the reputation.
Are you worried, Doctor? Honestly speaking, so am I. Even if Aloysius has made her thoughts on the matter clear, we still do not know her true goal.
Doesn't this all feel rather familiar?
Oh, you mean like in Lungmen? Chen really is no nonsense, isn't she?
Don't you mean hard to work with?
Let's go with strict. Chen treats others the same way she treats herself. That's how it was back then. That's how it is now. Oh, right. We've got news from her before we left home. While she didn't go into detail on her movements, she sounded well. When she heard about what happened, she promised that if Rhodes Island needed her, she would return.
We've met a lot of friends, but a lot have lost us too.
I still remember when we were working with Chen. The one who actually represented Rhodes Island and negotiated with Chief Wei was Dr. Katzit. Doctor, I'm worried that I won't be able to solve problems or get people to work with us like she did. Also, we know practically nothing about Ursus's current circumstances or the Grand Duchess. Doctor,
We don't need to do what only Kaltsit could do. Be yourself, Amia. We'll find a way.
May I ask which of you is Dr. Jacob of Rhodes Island? Her Imperial Highness, the Grand Duchess invites you to meet with her.
So then, very interesting. First off, in the flashback at the beginning, we get to see when and how Radian's squad was sent over to Ursus to do the reconnaissance for the sarcophagus. And very interesting enough, that whole thing was done even before the events of the Masses travel, before the Doctor and Monster went over to Laterano for that adventure. But very interesting, means Radian and her squad have been in Ursus for quite a while now until it became as dire as it is. But also very importantly about this cutscene, we get to meet a character. A character with a name that, for people who have played Enfield, at least the beginning of Enfield, should be familiar with this name if they didn't skip a certain interaction point at the beginning of the game. Now, I will not spoil why and how, but this name, Rankin, or rather, in Enfield he was spelled as Relkin. And I would say this is probably because, and this is a reminder, a lot of names, from what I'm also aware, a lot of names that appear in the Chinese version of this game do get obviously differently written and Romanized once put in a Roman alphabet, of course. So yeah, when we get it, some names will differ between the two versions of the game, and I would say this is probably the case here. I would say probably the Enfield team, when they were compiling that list of names that you can discover at the beginning of Enfield, they probably didn't have the official localization yet for Rankin, and they just went with a, I guess, direct translation or romanization or whatever the hell from the Chinese alphabet over, Chinese writing to the Roman alphabet, so I guess they stuck with Relkin for the time being. So all I'm gonna say is, if that is the case, and I know this is not gonna happen, but if someone from the Enfield team is watching this video, please remember in a future update to change the spelling of Relkin to the now official Rankin. Because I believe this is the person. Unless there's gonna be someone else down the line, then forget it. But hey, reminder. But yeah, it is a person that is familiar, and well, looking forward to seeing more about this person, I guess. That was an important enough name to bring up in a completely different game that obviously is taking place in the future. But yeah, very interesting to note there. Also, final thing about the cutscene, it was very nice to see Amia and the doc just hanging out and reminiscing about good old times. And dear Doctor and Amia, if Chen would actually hear you guys talk about her like that, you would get a big portion of whoop ass. She would not let that slide. But anyway, we do have one new enemy here, which is the Army Infiltrator. Members of the Ursus Infiltrator Squad. They have already infiltrated every corner of the battlefield, waiting for a chance to strike when the main army arrives. One of our old repeat units here is the Ursus Assault Crossbowman, an Ursus soldier who is proficient at infiltrating deep into enemy territory, equipped with a powerful heavy-duty crossbow. And also jetpacks. But anyway, we continue on to our final part for today, stage 16-4, titled Strength in Numbers. Old friends, new friends, let's start by saying hi. We thank our honored guest for your patience. Please, follow me. You comply with the guard's request, patiently waiting again in the office lobby for Aloysius and the much-rumored Grand Duchess's discussion to come to a close. The subdued interior has no clock, or other timekeeping instrument, as if time is not a right conferred upon its visitors. You while away the minutes in utter boredom, thinking back to your own discussion not long ago.
Only the doctor is allowed to meet with her?
I also think that's unreasonable. If something unexpected happens, there is no way for Ame and I to protect you.
In the end, this is her domain. It does not seem like she is giving us any room to bargain.
Aloysius said she wanted to introduce us to the Grand Duchess, but we still don't know why she really wants to help us.
My memory bank has no record of a young Ursin noble like her either. But a woman acting as a special ambassador, who also personally knows the Grand Duchess, must be extraordinary.
She has many secrets. This relationship between a Griffenberger envoy and a local noble is a subtle thing. But she did clearly say she wanted us to go with her to the mining district. We need to cooperate with her, no matter what. This is the only chance we have to get into the mining district.
But Rhodes Island has stepped into the sights of Ursus, and we have no way of knowing how the local administration views us.
I've had my fair share of past experiences, and I've been in this sort of situation before.
I will support your decision, Doctor, but please be careful.
Take a comms terminal at least. If anything happens, reach out immediately. We'll come and get you right away, even if we have to smash the place up while we're at it.
I will, if I have to. I'll make sure I don't need to use it. But, what is this mine lockdown hiding? The corridors of the building are exceptionally empty, just like the streets of the city it stands in. The moment you are led inside, a slight nod is all you're left with. Not a word has passed your guide's lips the entire time. Perhaps he trusts your intuition will lead you to the correct room, or perhaps he is used to putting visitors to the test. Fortunately, you had detected the warm scent of applewood smoke wafting off that guard, which takes you to the only door emitting such a smell. A door that leads to a room tucked away in the corner was once pushed open. It is as if the looming, imposing stone walls of this chill-gloomed city have come together to hide a spot of sacrosanct tranquility. The first thing you see is a graceful, ash-blue figure standing at the other side of the room. Greetings. Your Imperial Highness, the Grand Duchess, Yelizaveta Konstantinova Lachkovskaya. I can feel your nerves from here. You need not be wary. Please, call me Grand Duchess Elizabeth, as my friends do. I can tell that you are an individual of keen intellect. Her voice is gentle and innocent, not at all what you expected. The mistress of the place slowly turns around.
I welcome each and every guest to Bresk with open arms. Is this not the part where you introduce your friend, Elota? Oh, yes, of course. This is the one I was speaking about, the doctor of Rhodes Island Pharmaceuticals. You may call me Dr. Jacob. It is an honor to be granted an audience. I hope I am not too bold in paying you a visit. As I said, there is no need for such formality. Come forward, closer to the fire. My attendant shall fetch us some tea for fifth. It may be difficult for travelers from afar to adapt to Bresk in this season. Though she may be remote, there are times when she is a warm and pleasant home. Has your journey here been a smooth one? I fear I can't describe it as such. Public security certainly cares for Bresk. Please believe me when I say that all you have seen here is in service to maintaining the city's hard-fought serenity. Elota has already explained to me in great detail the excellent work her new oripathy specialist friends have done in the field. Yours is a talent our city sorely needs at this moment. You require oripathy specialists? Our young Tsar wishes to bestow his favor equally upon every Ursin citizen. He even wishes for the division of infection to no longer plague his people. It is for this reason that he labors himself to exhaustion, such that even the most steely-eyed courtier is left heartbroken at the sight. But rare is the one who truly understands how precious a treasure His Imperial Majesty's innocence is. We who call ourselves his followers must do all we can to enact his will. Bresk borders the largest mining district in the far north, but the methods we have available to treat oripathy fall far short of His Imperial Majesty's ideals, which means we require some able doctors. If that is your Imperial Highness's goal, Dr. Jacob is the best partner you will find here. I have read Rhodes Island's specialist scientific papers for myself, unlike those dusty old scholars of the Imperial Universities who simply repeat the findings of others. Rhodes Island leads the vanguard in the field of oripathy research. Oh my, I've never heard our proud young officer express such admiration for anyone before. Has working in Gryffindor changed you? I still distinctly remember your father grumbling to me about the awkward situations you would provoke at the ducal banquets. A rather embarrassing part of my past, Your Imperial Highness. If I may explain this admiration further, I have always respected those with true talent and ability, such as Your Imperial Highness and Dr. Jacob. I'm incredibly grateful for the reminder about my father. I nearly forgot to pass on his regards. His factories still produce uniforms of the highest quality for every soldier in the far north. His name can still be heard at every banquet on the frontier. We had best return to the topic of our friend here. Let us speak plainly. What plans does Rhodes Island have for Bresk? We hope you will allow us to enter the far northern mining district. We lost contact with a mobile medical team in the central mining district there. Upon hearing your words, the Grand Duchess shows a split second of surprise, but does not forget herself. She looks towards Aloysius, and you notice the precise moment the young guardswoman's gaze turns evasive. The Grand Duchess lets out a long sigh, as if she were vexed by a terrible burden. Oh dear. Oh dear. Dr. Jacob. That is how I should address you, yes? If this young lady has provoked a misunderstanding, then I do apologize. We welcome Rhodes Island building an office in Bresk, and I wish to offer as much aid as I can. But the far northern mines are not open to sightseers at the moment. If your comrades are lost, then I ask you to leave with me their descriptions and last known whereabouts. I shall deploy every last man I can spare to help you find them. Pardon my candor,
but I believe we need to discuss this further.
I am afraid. Your Imperial Highness, what if I invite them to travel with me, under my name? Oh, Elotta, you always were such a naughty little rascal. You know that Bresk needs specialist oripathy doctors. You know that with your recommendation, I would not consider this a favor to be repaid, allowing your friend to do business here. Now look here. What is it you wish to do? Drag our esteemed guest into our muddy, snow-laden troubles? Elotta, you are complicating the situation. This is not a complicated matter. Pray, Your Imperial Highness, forgive my bluntness. I have never concealed my objective here. But Tsar, there is hardly a soul in Griffinburg concerned about the possibility of unrest in your Bresk. But there are many curious about the closure of the mining district and the mutations among the infected. Those coming here may be idle young nobles or scientists researching oripathy, but they can just as easily be an army captain or dignitaries from the State Council.
The young guardswoman's tone remains frivolous, leaving you barely able to discern if the sharpness she speaks with is one of irrelevant rudeness, or if there is a prying, deeper meaning to it. Grand Duchess Elizabeth's eyes narrow.
If they have their suspicions, then let them come and speak those suspicions here. The army see me as a fence-sitter currying favor with the new nobles, while the State Council sees me as some provincial Grand Duchess. I am well used to everyone laying their doubts and curiosities onto Bresk. So, my dear Elotta, who sent you here to heap more blame upon me? Oh, no. Your Imperial Highness misunderstands. You know that this is just a cushy job for me, paying a visit to your Demesne. My only intentions was to petition you to grant the oripathy specialist permission to accompany me into the mining district, that we might investigate the strange happenings surrounding the infected there.
May I butt in with some words of my own?
Pray speak, my friend.
I would like to clarify Rhode Island's position. We are simply a pharmaceutical company trying to address infected issues. We are worried for the safety of our lost friends and must find them as soon as possible. As for other matters, Rhodes Island will not and cannot get involved.
I did not ask this earlier, but my curiosity abounds. Your colleagues, why ever did they go to the Central Mining District?
They want to address cases of oripathy. They are Ursin themselves.
Oh.
Rhode Island's intentions are pure. We have no higher power pulling our strings after all, and we know barely anything about this place. The Grand Duchess, who has been listening intently to you the entire time, finally seems to soften. She has full control over the expression on her face, but you sense her relax a little. In short, everything we do is in the service of searching for our friends. This is our only request.
A young woman I care for, and healers of oripathy who only wish to find their comrades. If I were to refuse you, I would seem rather cruel, wouldn't I? I understand your position. You were just worried for our friends from afar, worried that they would get drawn into danger. Naturally. I do not wish anyone in my lands to meet with misfortune. If I ever had the time, I would like to send stoves out to every soul who lives upon the frozen earth. Elotta, can you promise me you will ensure our friend's safety? To the best of your ability? Your Imperial Highness may trust in me. Good. Good. Go now, Dr. Jacob. Go find your people. I permit Rhodes Island to enter the mining district of the far north.
Thank you for your kindness.
I wish that I were so kind, but few are they who appreciate the kindness of others. People revere those who snatch the rights from their hands, and are grateful whenever a portion of those rights is returned to them. but I do not believe such acts can be considered kind. The winds of the far north are bitter indeed. You had best pack some warm clothes, Dr. Jacob.
Dr. Aloysius, you're back!
Indeed. No need to look so excited, Gospodjamia. This is the administrative center of Bresk, not some den of evil. Our chat went rather smoothly, da? Smooth as silk, though with some unexpected developments. You're still hiding things, both from us and the Grand Duchess. Alright, yes, I admit that. But it really was the only way I could create the ideal conditions for discussion. And the results speak for themselves, no? The Grand Duchess... What of her? She isn't what I imagined. Oh, and how did you imagine her? Colder. Harder to persuade. But so long as you can pinpoint exactly what she's trying to conceal from you, it is not difficult to persuade her. The problem is that most of the time she will leave you no opportunity to find that weak point. Those infected, for example, are they affected by changes in pathology, some new symptoms of oropathy, or something else? That's where the issue lies. The lack of details. That is all the information that made it to Gryffindor. The moment the infected change, they're sent off to be supervised by the Research Institute. I have read your paper on the changes in the Originium and new oropathy symptoms, as have research institutes across Ursus, who are already launching their own projects based on that paper. If these changes were simply those mentioned within, they would not merit this sort of response. It is highly likely that the abnormalities springing up in the mining district are an entirely new threat.
An entirely new threat?
The Institute looking into the cause, the district under lockdown, all the miners isolated from the wider country. This way, everyone will believe the matter is settled, but in truth... After the incident, all work in the district stopped, and all communications were cut off. Due to Gryffindor's inquiries have received no response. None is able, and none dares, to look too deeply into this. If the Grand Duchess wanted to hide things, then we would never have been allowed into Bresk. You have met her, and perhaps this has you believe that she truly is a kind administrator. Of course, she would have let you in. After all, this is the friendliest place to the infected in Ursus, the Pearl of the Far North, paradise in North Ursus. Bresk, capital of Breskenoy. You didn't see anything unusual in the city these past 2 days, aside from the lack of people. That is how she runs the Far North. Like how since she became governor, nobody has been sentenced to death in the governorate. Has that lessened the number of people here who have met tragic ends? No. You seem to have a lot of complaints about her. Oh, you wound me. I promised my assessment just now was not tinged by any personal feelings. I was simply answering your questions. We are partners now, aren't we?
I understand, Aloysius. Are these abnormal infected still under the supervision of the Research Institute in the mining district?
Indeed. To be more precise, they are in the Central Far North Mining District Laboratory. Isn't that...
That's the first place we need to visit.
Is it now? Having the same destination would make things much more convenient. Anything else you would like to ask? You're very straightforward. Of course, I never intended to give you the runaround in the first place.
I do have a question, Aloysius.
Ask away.
Earlier, when we were at your friend's house, we had to cut our conversation short. I should have asked you this question first, but I never found the opportunity. What is it you hope to gain from this investigation?
If I may be serious for a moment. I want the truth. The truth about the mutations in the Central Mining District's infected. I do not want the infected miners to suffer unduly, nor do I want the people of Ursus to sit ignorant of a looming disaster. Central Far North Mining District, Ursus.
We're very close to the Institute. But it's been so quiet the entire way. Do people really live here?
3 days ago, the Grand Duchess made a sudden decree that all residents living within 30 clicks of the Central Mining District had 24 hours to evacuate the area. Though the far north is sparsely populated, evacuating such a large area in such a short time was no easy task. Not to mention ensuring they all maintain secrecy the entire time. There are rumors that the Grand Duchess has always maintained absolute control over all affairs in this region of Ursus. Some even say she is revered even more than... Consider, Batyushka, I should not be running my mouth like this. She eventually allowed us in, which means she is not worried about our investigation. That is not necessarily the case. She can hardly show resistance to a Griffenberger Imperial Guardswoman's face, can she? Objectively speaking, the Grand Duchess has been acting as lubricant between the armies and the State Council, making sure the bitterness between the two sides does not devolve into outright conflict. I must admit, this requires considerable skill. She gets the favor of both sides, but this also means she must maintain absolute impartiality. You don't seem averse to discussing this. I thought you couldn't speak lightly on this topic in Ursus. Surprised? You seem to have some misunderstanding about Ursus, Dr. Jacob. I'm simply repeating the sort of gossip you might hear at any Griffenberg banquet. If you do not know these rumors inside and out, how would you manage to join these dinner-time discussions? Naturally, idle chatter is one thing. Actually trying to leverage this chatter for some upward mobility and putting it into action is another thing altogether. A rather interesting point of view. On the other hand, regardless of whether the Grand Duchess is hiding anything, or if she believes everything hidden well enough, we will certainly find something in the Research Institute looking into the abnormal infected.
Do you hear the sound of fighting up ahead? Are those miners fighting with the patrol unit?
We can't just sit by and watch. All hands prepare a rescue operation. Wait a sec. I've got sharper eyes, a clearer view. The ones getting beaten down are the patrol unit? What? Off in the distance where Elysium is pointing, you see two groups of people fighting in a melee with a few surprising aspects to it. A patrol unit is being routed by a group of infected miners who outnumber them several times over. The lackluster equipment in the patrol unit's hands is of no use, as the miners would have that pickaxes strike their bodies over and over. Doctor, are we still going to mount a rescue here? We need to stop things from escalating and learn more about what's going on.
Enough! Stop! Stop it! What do you think you're trying to do? Kill us? Yet, Ursus will never let you get away with it.
So what? So what? Since when have we ever been treated as human beings? We're people too, aren't we? We were never going to make it far anyway. Might as well take you with us. Just die already! Ah! My hand! Where did you come from? You monster!
Monster? That's my name, don't wear it out. Sorry, Mr. Bot, could you slow down a bit? We have some questions we need to ask you.
Why? You want to protect these patrol unit bastards? You're here to take us in too? Never, Mudak! We're not going to follow you back all nice and quiet!
The angry miner gets even more agitated, lifting the pickaxe in his hands up high. Stop.
A voice out of nowhere floods into his brain, making the weapon in his hands feel extraordinarily heavy, and his legs feel full of lead. Trying as he might, he cannot move. What the... Chernobog! What kind of arts is this?
Sir, could you allow us the chance to talk things through?
Amia steps forward, stretching her right arm out towards the miners, exposing the originium crystals on her wrist that were hidden under her sleeve.
As you can see, I am infected. Most of my team are too. We mean you no harm. Please believe me.
Infected? You're infected like us. And with some amazing arts too, You must be those Reunion guys.
What? No, we are not Reunion. We are from Rhodes Island, a pharmaceutical company.
Oh, my mistake. I thought you were the legendary Reunion movement. I knew it. A bunch of infected coming together to form an organization. It's a fantasy, no matter how you look at it. May I ask, where did you hear the name Reunion? Rankin. It was Rankin who told us about it. To the south, real close to the border with Casimir's, there's a group of infected who founded a place of their own, who take in all infected who ask for help, and drive out anyone who wants to do harm to the infected too. Rankin would never lie to anyone, and I really hope it's true too, but Casimir's is so far away. How are we supposed to get there?
This Rankin, is he a member of Reunion?
Maybe. I'm not too sure, to be honest. But he's our hero. When he's around, the patrol units won't dare mess with us. I heard he rescued those guys who got dragged into the research institute.
Hey, blabbermouth. We still don't know what these people want.
Oh, right. So, why are you here?
We lost contact with our friends in the area. Have you seen a mobile medical team? There are 9 of them, wearing clothes with the same logo as ours, and they would have been handing out medicine here.
Handing out medicine? What, like Santa Claus in the fairy tales? The miners look at each other, as if they have just heard the worst joke on Terra. So, what was going on here earlier? Pashandahoy! They're murderers who wanted to kill us! They locked us up and gave us no food, trying to starve us to death! It must have been because we couldn't dig up anything, so they didn't give us a single bite to eat, right? Stupid bastards! Who the hell even knows what happened to the vein? The originium just disappeared all of a sudden! We couldn't take it anymore! We had to run, or we would all die!
Is this true?
Why are you looking at me like that? What are you going to do to me? The mining district had a supply shortage for a while now. More than just a couple of days. We got given about, what, a few loaves of bread this month? You want to know what's going on too? Don't believe me? Sudar Batyushka. Who even has the time to bother with this rabble? If we kill them, then what? Are we supposed to go into the mines ourselves to dig? What are you doing? Okay, I'll shut up. Shut up now.
This isn't just happening in 1 or 2 mines. All of the far north. The entire mining district, all of us in it. We've been abandoned. We heard Rankin was the first one to step up. He got rid of all of the soldiers and let several hundred people on an escape. And now we've escaped too. We wanted to find his group and leave with them, but they're far away by now. Okay, we've told you enough. Since you're infected too, you should get out of the way and let us kill those bastards.
Sorry, but if I may be brutally blunt for a moment, I can overlook the reasoning of why you have left your mine and treat you as asylum seekers for the time being. But if you actually do kill these unfortunate souls, then things will not go well for you. Aloysius, you can't speak to them like that.
What's with the officer in the pretty clothes? Bliat! I never should have trusted you people! The appearance of an Imperial Guardswoman relights the flames of the miners' ire. They lift up their weapons once more to fence you in, but in fear of your Raidian arts, they dare not act rashly. As for the router patrol unit, the moment they see Aloysius, it is as if they have met their savior. They huddle behind her, cowering. It is altogether a rather awkward, irreconcilable scene.
Looks like if we don't resolve this situation, we cannot continue onwards, can we?
Things being what they are, we have no choice.
Very well.
The guardswoman pulls out some paper from her coat pocket, quickly writing down a few words on it before sealing it with an ornate envelope and handing it to the head miner.
Listen up. I have a suggestion that will make everyone happy. Take this letter. The seal on the envelope will ensure that no patrol units harass you, so long as you do not provoke them. Head north to Bresk's sentry post. Hand the letter to the soldiers there, and they will find temporary shelter for you. As for what comes next, discuss it only after getting there. Believe me when I say this is the only way to a peaceful resolution. In exchange, can you find it in your hearts to let these poor whelps go?
No, you can't. If we don't bring them back, we'll be disciplined.
Enough. You're lucky to be alive as it is.
Why should we trust you?
Do you have anyone else you can trust? Aloysius!
If we go to this shelter you mentioned, will there be enough bread for everyone?
Rest assured, if bread is what you need, then bread you shall have.
The head miner takes the proffered letter, then turns to discuss the offer in hushed tones with the other miners. They quickly come to a consensus, and with no hesitation whatsoever, the miners form one long line and start heading north, as if entering the mine, just like any other day. The long stretch of miners slowly funnels through a gap between the huts. All the while, Amia keeps looking towards the north, the procession fading into the distance. This is the best outcome we could hope for under the circumstances.
I understand, Doctor. We can't save, can't help everyone we meet. But Rhodes Island will keep pressing on until the last of our strength has left us.
You turn to look at the Imperial Guardswoman behind you, seemingly frivolous yet always able to take the initiative. We never heard of any supply shortage in the mining district. This is no ordinary control measure.
Yes, I know what you're about to ask me. Believe me, I know about as much as you do. We are of like mind when it comes to these misgivings. The Research Institute is not far up ahead. Let us go and find answers there.
Let's go, Doctor.
Central Far North Mining District Laboratory, Ursus. As you walk along the corridor, the echoes of your footsteps are swallowed up by its unending length. Its stone walls lean inwards, as if their grave majesty were about to smother everything upon the ground. Those who walk along it find themselves lowering their voices, and lowering them further.
It's so quiet here.
Rather, it seems there are no infected here, or anyone for that matter.
Which means...
I've been to several army research institutes before. They tend to be places of chaos, with plenty of people coming and going. Sickbeds that don't fit in the wards are put in the corridors, not too different from a battlefield hospital. There is yelling, wailing, screaming from the infected, but at least they live. At least they struggle on. But here? Huh, nothing.
There are traces of fighting in the corridor. Was the institute looted?
The entire district appears to be in terrible disarray. If all the abnormal infected from the institute have escaped...
The soldiers of the district have been gravely derelict in their duty. Their leader will not shirk responsibility. Who knows, there may be great change coming to all of Breskenoy.
If the miners have been here, there must be some clues to find. We need to find out what happened here.
While we have no accurate blueprints on hand, these sorts of buildings usually follow a standard layout. If things are as expected, this hallway should form a loop, with standardized linking rooms adjoining. Every floor will also have an enclosed observation deck for easier viewing of what's going on in the mining area. Are you able to detect any of those biosignals you mentioned earlier?
Sorry, ma'am, but if you were hoping we could trace signals to a specific room in here, then no can do. The best we can do is confirm signal waves are coming from a certain area. You'll need to go there and inspect things yourself if you want to find the source, like we're doing right now.
Alright, I was simply asking. This is a big institute, so I'll head down to the basement to have a look. In the interest of efficiency, how about we split up?
It's dangerous to be alone here. The doctor looks at Amia.
I'll go with you, Aloysius.
Sure. I don't mind having someone else helping out.
Monster and I will check upstairs then. Mantra, you and your team search the ground floor. Maintain comms at all times. Prioritize your own safety, everyone. This is a pretty spooky place, and it's a Norsean Research Institute. Who knows what strange things are in here? Like maybe they were experimenting with fusing humans and burden beasts. Monster, if anything goes wrong, get the doctor out of here pronto. No fighting.
I know.
Mantra, report.
I am here. We have found nothing unusual at our current position. I have eyes on Amia. She's safe.
About that biosignal, we can trace it more precisely than we let on, correct?
4th floor, mineshaft side. Target is not moving. What? You never told me you could do that, Captain.
We need to be on guard. Deception is not your strong suit. I hope she is the Xenia monster mentioned.
We are short on time, Doctor. The target's vital signs are unstable.
You seem really sure we would find something down here, Aloysius.
Thanks to a little laziness, many Ursian governmental buildings follow the same standardized layout. If this institute is like the others I've visited, especially when it comes to how they divide up the space for specific uses, then there should be something left in the basement. The dead cannot get up and leave, after all.
Do you mean this basement is a morgue?
A temporary one, with incinerators equipped to handle the remains of severely infected. Aha! I knew it.
Although power to the freezing mechanism has been cut, the basement was still colder than the snow-dusted outdoors. The young guardswoman runs her hand across the coffins, which leaves behind a layer of rusty condensation on her fingers.
These coffins have been used. They must have lost power just before the evacuation. Could you take the right side of the room, Госпожа Amia? We'll open them up one by one to check...
Aloysius!
What is it? Oh, how careless of me. You might never have seen a corpse before. Then call someone over. No need to trouble yourself.
No, that's not important right now. The infected remains are very dangerous. If they have disintegrated and we open the coffin lids, this entire room might become a hydrogenium dust environment.
Before Amia has even finished speaking, the guardswoman pushes open a coffin. There is no release of originium dust, yet Aloysius' expression turns grave.
What is going on here?
Aloysius does not answer, instead turning to open yet another coffin, and then another.
The corpses interred here. None of them is infected. Wait, stay back, Amia. They must have been performing some kind of experiments on the uninfected. That's all I can glean here, and that's all you need to know. There is no need for you to personally examine them.
Thank you for your concern, but I think I should.
Amia anticipated something like this. The moment she stepped into the Institute, sorrow shrouded her mind. It chills and clings to her. Suffering is smeared onto every wall in this place. Humanity's frail fingers are too weak to leave any trace on the stone and steel. Not even blood can find purchase here. All that can remain is hate. Only hate. Amia does her utmost to ignore the spectral arms stretched out towards her. In the silence, she listens to the beating of her heart echoing through her chest. A dozen or so corpses, all in abject misery. Each of them has been twisted into incomprehensible forms. Their skin has ruptured, exposing their visceral bones. They barely even look human. It is as if their frames had been subject to some enigmatic force, intent on warping them both inside and out until they neared complete destruction. Who knows how long they were subject to this agony? Who knows how they suffered during this torment?
Are you alright?
Amia does not feel fear. Rage. She feels only rage.
Mantra.
The very next instant, a familiar voice answers.
I am here. What is it, Amia?
Aloysius and I are in the morgue in the basement. We can confirm that the Institute was conducting large-scale human experimentation. Experimental methods unknown. The victims we have discovered are all uninfected. No clues on the abnormal infected at the moment.
Understood. I will inform the doctor. Stay safe and stay in touch.
We can say that our earlier worries are more clearly defined now. The situation here, or rather in the far north, is much worse than our intelligence suggested. The strong emotion attacking me in the Institute, alongside everything we experienced on our way here, like the patrol units harassing the infected and the contamination created by the Royal Guard. All this goes to show that the issues here extend far beyond the infected mutations.
Ami and Aloysius found something. The Institute really was conducting illegal human experiments. However, we're still unsure of the cause of the abnormal infections. No matter who our target is, there must be some information waiting.
Where is she anyway? I've searched all the rooms on the mineshaft side and nobody was there.
What about the locked rooms?
Same thing. The locks are old-fashioned, easy enough to pry open. But regardless of the status of their locks, most of the rooms had nothing except for things like empty shelves and cabinets or loose graph paper. Could she have left?
Or maybe we're looking in the wrong place.
What do you mean?
Aloysius says every floor has an enclosed observation deck.
I never found anything like... Wait, that can't be. It's regular rooms the entire way around the loop, and we've checked every single one. There's not enough space in this weird building for an observation deck.
Maybe on the mineshaft side. There's a hidden door we haven't discovered yet. A room within a room. The voice comes out of nowhere, hoarse and fragmented. It creeps upwards from the ankles of the listeners up to their napes, coming to an icy standstill in the back of their minds. It sounds human, but it is hard to verify. Did you hear that, monster? A voice.
I did. Up ahead. I remember the room.
The lights here are broken, so stay behind me, Doctor.
Behind the door is hidden another, this one unlocked. Though the hands of humanity once left their heat upon its handle, now it is as cold as ice. Monster pushes open the small light door. Within the darkness, the visitors are greeted by feeble candlelight. The first sound they hear is not the voice of a human, but the wet, squelching sound of viscous liquid. Molten wax drips, melting into the disorderly, blackening dark red stains of the floor and splattering onto scattered sheets of paper. And on those sheets, next to some handprints, a list of formulae is scrolled out, trembling penned like screeches of fear and anger.
Meaningless. Oh, it's all meaningless. Great Ursus sits atop all creation, but its vast domain lies barren. Aside from never-ending disaster. Professor Ilya, I finally see that you were right. You were right. Absolutely right. But where are you? Where have you gone? I tried my best. Tried so hard. But in the end, it didn't even matter. I wanted to look for you all. I wanted to. But now all I can do is take everything away. Take it all away. Then, I will find you.
The woman stretches out her hand, bringing a sheet of paper up to the candle's flame. The fire soon consumes half of it. She watches it burn with an insatiable gaze, completely unaware of the company by her side.
Xenia! You're Xenia, right?
Monster rushes up to crush the burning paper, extinguishing it with her bare hands before it can grow into an inferno. She's surprised to find that the slumped-over woman is surrounded by a tangle of wires. Where do these wires lead? If they had not intervened in time, what would the ensuing blaze have led to? Did she just say Ilya?
She did. I heard it too. Is that you, Xenia? You've grown. You look different from before. Why didn't you leave with everyone else? No apparent response to sound. She may have entered a dissociative state.
Move her to the side. Keep calling her name.
Xenia, I will find you.
These papers on the ground. You gather up all these sheets that were by her feet, flipping through them by candlelight. They are not what you imagined, not failed formulae or blank sheets of paper. The words written on them are clear, and are in grammatical Ursin. What I am about to write is not meant to be known by any living soul. For there is no meaning in leaving behind words about me or the things I love. What I write here is merely my recollection and repentance for me to take to my grave. I believe researching the sarcophagus was a grand undertaking, with clean energy for the Ursin people close at hand. But the ember of that hope was ultimately snuffed out by our own divisions. I was fortunate enough to escape that unjust massacre due to my ignorance, but my good fortune was itself unjust, for the price I paid was being forced to live the rest of my life in panicked mediocrity. I have nowhere to go, no home to return to. The talent I was so proud of is useless. My life has amounted to nothing.
Xenia, I'm Monster. Do you remember? Do you remember Kaltsit? I'm... Xenia.
It seems that whenever we are given the opportunity to advance, we always find a reason to hesitate. This interminable failure of a life has made me truly understand those words I read many years ago in a book, words I once scoffed at. The reason why Ursus is constantly flooded with sorrow and injustice is because we lag behind other nations in many aspects. No matter how many truths we discover or accomplishments we make, this backwardness will ruthlessly extinguish the fires of our inspiration. This appears to be a suicide note.
Still no reaction from her. Does it say where the sarcophagus ended up after it left Chernobog?
No, but it mentions researching some kind of material. I think it's describing mutations in Ursin infected. Oka should have been a chance to turn things around, but just like every other opportunity that had passed me by, it was fleeting. Was my research wrong yet again? Or is this inexplicable miraculous substance from the mines truly nothing out of the ordinary? It clearly contains no energy, yet it is so callously torturous to those patients who are already suffering from disease, driving them mad, making them act in unusual ways, even allowing them to accomplish the impossible. I do not know, but I am unwilling to be the one who inflicts even more pain on them. Fortunately, I need not continue. That is all I have to say. Now all I can do is make guesses using metaphysics like some sort of poet. Oka may simply be a part of Ursus's essence buried deep in the ground. It revels in the suffering of those it abhors, all behind a mighty, harmless countenance. Enough. Stop heaping your egotistical, unfounded leaning upon this man-made calamity, Xenia. Once more, you are a despicable survivor. You should have died 20 years ago at the hands of those soldiers, or here at the hands of angry infected. But now it all comes to an end.
Xenia.
We know for sure that she's Xenia. What is Oka?
Oka. Xenia? Can kill. The Royal Guard. It's dangerous.
Alright, before I say anything anymore, one new enemy to introduce here, which is the Army Mobile Crossbowman. Mobile Crossbowmen of the Ursus army pushing on the flanks to disrupt and contain the enemy. Cheap to recruit and train, they are often deployed in large numbers. Alright, so first and foremost for this cutscene here, holy furry Duchess. That was a woman, and I do not know if she's trustworthy. According to Aloysius, she is definitely a cunning opponent to have if you are against her, but I don't know. I don't know how the story is gonna pan out with her. She might just end up being like a neutral party to anything. I mean, right now, as Aloysius put it, specifically, she's kind of like a middle ground between two sides. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see how the story is gonna pan out. She definitely wields an iron grip on the region, and despite the fact that she is doing stuff apparently to protect the infected, she apparently is also commanding people to do the whole hush-hush thing. Probably, I would say, this is pure speculation, I would say this whole investigation into this Oka stuff that we just learned about here at the end might have just been orchestrated by her to maybe curry favor with the government or something for the region or whatever the hell. But we don't know that yet. We'll see how the story is gonna progress. For now, I'm suspicious of her. I'm more suspicious of her than of Aloysius. Even though Aloysius is being way too straightforward, which is also very... it's raising flags. She's so straightforward that I don't know if it's gonna turn out in a good way or if it's gonna turn out in a bad way. But for now, she's playing ball, which is a good thing. But yeah, very interesting stuff there in that laboratory. The corpses being one of them, and as we learn again about the substance that was discovered there as well, that Oka thing, seems to be that they were experimenting on normal, non-infected people, and it pretty much turned them inside out, which is very crazy. You know what this reminds me of? When they started describing the corpses and how they looked and everything, and then they introduced the substance a tiny bit later, kind of reminded me of the movie The Thing, especially because we are also in a far northern, or well, we are in a cold environment, let's put it that way, and that movie also takes place in a cold environment, and it has to do with well, it has to do basically with a thing that infects people and then pretty much just takes over every single cell and replaces it with its own copy of it, and just takes over the body without you even noticing that it happened, which is crazy. But yeah, definitely feels like the story could be a bit The Thing inspired, but the substance itself is very interesting. Probably people who have played Enfield as well kind of maybe have thought about the substance, maybe in the form of kind of sounding like ether, maybe. I mean, the thing appeared apparently in place, at least I'm extrapolating this from the story so far, that the substance appeared right after the Originium vein disappeared, which doesn't really surprise me, considering a certain someone, aka Priestess, is awake and she can manipulate Originium. She could have just whisked that whole thing away for her purposes. What those purposes are, who the hell knows, but a whole vein of Originium is gone. Could have also been that the substance itself just appeared out of somewhere and dismantled the Originium vein, or ate it completely. Who the hell knows? We'll see. But it's an interesting substance. I don't know where to put my finger on it specifically. The only thing I can correlate it to right now, at least, is to ether from Enfield. But is it the same thing, or is it maybe something even more primordial to Terra? Who knows? Considering that it appeared after the Originium vein disappeared, it could have been that the Originium vein was just blocking it somewhere underground. Could be something native to the planet. I mean, as a reminder, this planet was once the home of only a single, essentially multi-tribed species that we know as Tikas, that we nowadays know as Sarkas. So yeah, could be something of theirs that was just underground. Maybe something the Tikas were using as a ritual thing, or maybe it's some weird amalgamation of their AEGIR blood, whatever the hell. Ugh, I don't know. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. It's in a weird position as well, because we are so far to the north, where we're close to Sami as well, and the collapsals and that demonic bullshit. But might not have to do anything with the collapsals, because this thing apparently kills the Emperor's blades. As a reminder, or rather, it can kill them just straight up. And as a reminder, the Emperor's blades go through a ritual where they get infused with demonic, well, chunks, essentially, to their body. Who survives the procedure survives, essentially. But they are carrying their own sort of corruption with them that stems from the very, very same demons they are fighting up in the north to keep the border safe. Very wildly. But yeah, interesting substance. I don't know what it's gonna lead to, and what it's gonna, if they're even gonna fully reveal what the thing is. They probably will at some point, but we'll see. It's definitely interesting. It's definitely very, very interesting, and I do do find it very interesting how this story is progressing so far. Also, I do like the very heavy involvement of the Doctor in the story, with a lot of lines of text and decision making and coordinating people. It's a very sad to think, but it's obviously the result of losing Calcit in the previous chapter, and now having much bigger responsibility position in the whole thing. Definitely led to this whole thing being, or rather feeling the way it feels right now. Also, Amiya being a bit more decisive and everything, obviously, of course, makes sense. She's getting older as well. Monster, I need to see more of her, because right now she does still feel like we've seen her last time, but I do hope they're gonna be, considering she's part of the story here, that they're gonna be introduced, or rather showcasing Monster's growth as well as a person throughout this chapter and what happened in the last couple of months. But yeah, will be very interesting. Also, a very funny thing that I've noticed, and I'm sure people picked up on it already, as in naming convention between two characters. I mean, we have Elysium and we have Aloysius. Both of them somehow related to the term Vanguard. Both of them sorta light hair color, blonde color, and both of them having red streaks of color in their hair. Hypergriff, what are you doing? What is happening with these two characters? Someone on the team thought this was gonna be funny, and I agree. It is funny. It is funny. Very, very funny. But yeah. Anyway, this will be it for this part. So I'm gonna leave you guys off with the clip section. But for now, thank you guys very much for watching and listening. Hope you enjoyed. If you did so, please consider leaving a like. It would help out a lot. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. And if you want to support me more directly, memberships are open on the channel. Like I always say, no video will be behind a membership. It's purely there for support. So thank you to all the members already doing so. Much, much appreciated. And I will see you next time. Until then, bye-bye. Yo, Parliament! The State Council of Ursus. Holy. Oh god, we're getting new Ursus politician models and nobility probably. Oh yeah, noble. Jittery noble. That guy does not look jittery at all. That guy looks like he's about to rip someone's head off in style. Jesus. Jurodstvo? I feel like I know what this word means. Hold on. Huh. Okay. A Russian Orthodox tradition of holy foolishness, where individuals renounce worldly goods, conventions, and dignity, often acting mad to serve God and challenge society. Okay. Okay. Foolishness for Christ, yeah. Okay. Oh, hello. Okay, you look slightly more designed compared to the previous two. Are you gonna be a character for the story? Okay. You're redacted? I was about to take a sip. What the... What the hell, heartbeat? Quick, run? Keep running and don't look back, just like the others. Okay, we're in the tundra, yeah. Oh, okay, we're starting strong with this one. Alright, Emperor's blades are on the march. I need to start making some notes. I need to start making some notes of characters, I forgot. I was a bit engrossed in here, hold on. Oh boy, he's farting. He's doing the fart cloud. Stay. Oh, also, oh, no, the cloud is not him. Is it the person he's chasing? Because he's speechless right now. Is he bound in place again? Okay, yeah, so the stay was from the person chasing him. Whatever these arts are. Okay. Black snow falling. Oh, is it? Oh, wait. There's only the inexplicable pause. Nothing, there is nothing. The same trick. Okay. And it's emanating from him. Okay, so the mist is coming from him, but the word stay was the person telling him to stop in place. Okay. Damn. Damn, who the fuck is this? Who the fuck is this person? They put an Emperor's blade to sleep without killing him. Jesus Christ. He even managed to tap into the demon infested in their or congealed into their body to make them do so. Boże moi! Sorry, Granny. Oh, there's gonna be a lot of Russian jargon in this. I can already feel it. Oh boy.
The name shared by all, your Rodstvo.
Oh, and what is that? Gabrielus. Oh, suddenly we're using music from the Masses Travels. That sounds very holy. Okay. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, this music playing right now in the background. Whoa, what the shit? Is sending shivers down my spine. Hi? Uh-huh. Holy crap, they're all clawing at him. The glimmer of hope, huh? Oh, it is a woman, okay. Whoa. This picture goes hard. Holy shit. Uh-huh. Interesting. She has some weird markings across her body. Okay. Damn. Holy moly. This is one hell of a picture to begin the story with. Holy shit. Okay. Oh wait, I just realized there's a blue tail coming off of her. Is that mantra while she was younger? Is that why the year was redacted? Oh, okay, this scene is making way more sense now. This is making way more sense now. Oh, Mantra, you have a past. You have a heavy past tied to Ursus. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh shit. Okay. Okay, so that's where her powers are coming from. Okay. Oh yeah, we're switching back. Here's Amia. Oh, that was definitely Mantra in her youth. Okay. Oh, bitch. This is gonna be a story. Okay, I'm ready. Present it to me, game. Oh shit. Hi. Speaking of strong pictures to open stuff with. Alright. Central Far North Mining District, Ursus. Autumn 1101. Okay, we are still in the same year where we were with chapter 15. Just some time later. Okay, good. Ooh, animated. Animated! Hi! Okay, I mean, this is pretty much the main menu. But animated. Okay. Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to click that away. I want to hide this. Okay, so who do we have here? There's obviously Elysium, Mantra, Amia, Doctor, and Monster. And we have two random people there in the background. I wonder if they're completely random... completely random characters, or if this is someone specific, because I don't really recognize them. Looks like a random caster and medic operator, probably? Also, what did I just skip? Oh! Okay, I was correct, she is gonna be part of this whole thing. Okay. Okay, you were definitely not one of the two characters in the background just now. Okay, she's with us, huh? Or... considering considering Rhode Island's position and everything, I'm gonna presume that they were asking... I'm gonna go out on a limb that Rhode Island had to ask for permission to wander into here. Or something. Or they might be working with the Ursan government. And this woman is just being sent as a... pretty much as a guard dog. To watch over them. To see what they're doing. Or whatever. Let's see. I hope you're not insinuating I'm hiding something. Gospodja... Gospodja... this is gonna... This is almost feeling at home. I might be Croatian, but this is almost feeling at home. It's very similar. She's pretty much just saying Miss Amia. But in Russian. Oh god, the doctor is being carried again. Oh wow. Oh wow, this background is sending me. This background is sending me right now. I feel like I'm in a Croatian city. Oh no. That is architecture that was very prevalent here, as it was in most Slavic countries. Holy shit. Okay. Chert Poberi? I was too impatient. Is that's definitely a curse word. What is that? Oh, it just means damn it. Just means damn it. Chert Poberi, okay.
It'd be nice to have someone who's familiar with the environment.
Uh-huh. Heavily polluted facility. Okay, so that's that thing. Who are you? The problem is those heavily polluted facilities destroy them to clear the pollution. Hi, PRTS. We typically operate out of hidden tunnels. Okay, so this stuff. Come to us if you need help. Okay, when activated, toggles minor guerrillas assembled here between deploy and standby modes. Okay. Miners automatically attack enemies. Some enemies may be attacked by multiple miners. The limitations of the environment mean that the battle is likely to grind to a stalemate. Medic operators can heal miners in range, though with lesser effect. Oh, that's actually cool. Wow. It's pretty much having an extra guerrilla force at this point. Okay. Oh yeah, they are moving in, they're clearing the fog. Wow. It's actually dope. Wow. Damn, you guys are doing a lot of damage to that thing. 1,000 per hit? Holy shit. This... the civilians have gotten gains. Again with Artyom. That's so funny. The other day I was literally recording an episode for Enfield where a random ass character was called Artyom. So someone really liked playing Metro 2033. Someone really liked the Metro games, especially the first one, because the main character you play as in the first Metro game is literally called Artyom. Coincidence? Anyway, I forgot the I forgot that Closure has a new outfit. That flashbanged me. That flashbanged me just now. Okay, Closure. Come on. I forgot about this. I completely forgot about this. Look, it's been 6 months. Okay. Central Far North Mining District Ursus 5 days ago. Okay, 5 days before we arrived. Wizened voice, huh? Oh, hey. There she is. Okay, so she's gonna be very integral in the story. Alright. Go see Rankin. Rankin? Wait, where was it? Didn't she? Oh no, she said Holly. Rankin. Huh? What? That sounds very close to Railkin. Did they? Okay. Okay, I'm purely saying this because because a name that is technically for the global player base, a spoiler, came up in Enfield when put together with names from basic Arknights, and there was a name that was Railkin. But yeah, it's Railkin, not Renkin. Did they rename the bitch now? Is it the same person? Okay, I'm gonna wait unless there's gonna be another character in the story that's gonna appear with the name Railkin, and this is just someone named similar. I don't know. We'll see. But if not, did they rename him? The fuck? Excuse me. I think the translation teams between Enfield and regular Arknights need to have a chat. if that's the case. Anyway, youthful miner. Okay, you have a very distinct design from everybody else, but still NPC. The moment you try to leave this mining district, or the chip leaves your body, boom! Wow. 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 Alright. Uh-huh. Have you read Igor Veliky's biography? I love how names can sometimes be absolutely hilarious when you read them. Igor Veliky. Igor the Big, Igor the Huge. Perfect. He did not who he wrote in hell ranking Suka Bliat. They had to put that in there. They had to put Suka Bliat somewhere in there. Okay, Suka Bliat was I think that was just go to hell or something, right? Oh, never mind. well, a direct translation says fucking bitch. Okay, what the hell is okay, I have no idea what the first one is supposed to be. Oh, the first one is supposed to be go to hell. Okay. There will be space for all of us there. Oh, interesting. Oh, interesting. A village bordering with Casimirs that was founded by the infected, huh? I wonder if that village has to do anything with the new reunion movement. Well, Nine and Tallulah were also going back to Ursus. Maybe? Maybe. You're just blindly believing in this reunion. Oh, well, here's the answer. Well, here's my answer to the question. I literally just pose.
My memory bank has no record of a young Ursin noble like her.
Oh god, what if... Oh, I forgot her name. What if it's that other... That chick, I forgot what her name is, that was functioning as a teacher as well. That is basically the current and only form of cachet that we know of. I can't remember her name right now, but you guys know who I mean. the black, white, and red looking chick. Right, could it be her? I mean, she was supposed to be a noble, and she was somewhere out here. They did specify. I think they specified a town last time, but I don't think it was this town. I think she was somewhere else. She was teaching at a school, essentially. Anyway, might be her. That would be oh, that would be huge. Oh, all right. It's not who I thought it was, but that is definitely someone. Oh, what is this music? Who are you? Uh-huh. Huh, this is... Oh! Wow! Whoa, wow! Full on furry! Holy shit, okay. Okay, she's one of the more rare appearing humanoids that are still full on animals. What is she supposed to be, an Arctic fox? She's a very beefy and bulky big Arctic fox in that respect. If that's the case. Or a wolf? Actually no, she might be a wolf. Wolf? Dire wolf maybe? I wonder what she's supposed to be. She is huge. I can only imagine a type of wolf or a dire wolf. Dire wolves were supposed to be pretty large in that aspect. Anyway, very funny. Wow. Oh yeah, also the environment around her gives off that KGCC feeling. Reminds me of the backgrounds back during the Neural storyline with the grand giant empty halls. Well, almost empty. But anyway, very brutalist design. I like it. The Originium just disappeared all of a sudden. Oh. Yeah. Uh-huh. Well, that's interesting. A whole vein disappearing? Oh, priestess, what are you doing? Haven't seen this background since, actually no, it was in an operator record, but I haven't, originally, I think the first time this background appeared was in, Mansfield Prison Break, I think. Wow. They very rarely use this one, it's been a while. What in the fuck am I looking at? Hi. The first sound they hear is not the voice of a human, but the wet squelching sound of a vicious liquid. Well, that probably was a human at some point, but it's kind of munching on something right now. Oh boy. Oh boy, okay.
I tried my best. Tried so hard. But in the end...
Why? Why did I put this line in? But in the end, it didn't even matter. Oh, hi Linkin Park. How's it going? Oh... Her. Ah, our new 4-star character. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay, her recruitment line about our laboratory now makes more sense. Okay, I see. So is she Xenia? She probably is, right?
No apparent response to sound. She may have entered a dissociative state.
Shall we try some dissociative recombination? Anyway.
Okay. Xenia? Can kill the Royal Guard. It's dangerous.
Can kill the Royal Guard? The Emperor's blades? Uh-huh. Okay. So in one of the mines, probably in the mine where the vein disappeared, but I'm just speculating on that. But definitely in one of the mines, it seems like they found some new substance, something unknown as of yet, that is highly dangerous and it creates new mutations or something. Maybe... I mean, they're pretty close here to the north as well. Maybe it has to do something with... maybe it has to do something with the corruption from the north. From the... Shit, why is the name escaping me right now? Collapsal. That's the word I'm looking for. Jesus Christ, brain completely froze on a single word. Alright, collapsal. I wonder if it's something to do with them, like the corruption seep into the ground and just accumulate it, or something, or maybe it might, who the hell knows, might be something completely different. Might be something completely different, might be something that is actually native to the planet, who the hell knows. But we'll see. We'll see. I hope the story is gonna answer that question, because that is interesting. Very interesting indeed.